Welcome everybody to the Race Department Race of Champions. My name is Heineken and Lays. No, I'm lying. My name is Lorenzo Bonder, and I'll be with you throughout this broadcast with my friends and drinking partners. I'll introduce you one by one. Well, that's my job. I'm going to introduce everybody. Number one, I'm going to introduce you to German engineering artist in terms of drinking, Mr. Tobias Reuter. Introduce yourself.
Well, hello Lorenzo, and hello everyone on the stream.
Well, there's Tobias, a very kind gentleman that will drink with us throughout this broadcast. Well, up next, we got the very classy, very gentle, and very sexy voice for drinking ladies out there, Mr. Jim Knobs.
Whoa, sexy voice. I don't think I've described it that, Lorenzo, but thank you very much. I have my real ale at hand, so hopefully we'll be able to keep up with you guys in the drinking game. Thanks, Lorenzo. Thank you to the stream and everybody for watching as well.
And to finalize our commentators for today's broadcast, we got the Cypress Dream, the guy with the quirky voice, the touch of Midas, Mr. Andrew James.
I think I prefer Jim's introduction, but hello everyone.
Well, and in the cameras we got our extraordinary man, the guy with the action that will capture your eyes every single moment of this race, Mr. Davey Van de Ven. Even though you cannot hear him, he says hi and he's ready to drink just like us. Well, boys and girls, this is the very special event, the end of the year, Race Department Race of Champions, where we're going to bring 8 champions from our leagues throughout the Race Department year. We had multiple events from open wheelers to touring cars, and we're grabbing the champions from each category, or maybe runner-ups for those who cannot make it, and we're going to pair them up with another 8 capable drivers. Well, unfortunately, 2 drivers are not going to be over here. One of them is Manuel de Samaniego, which is the Race Department Rally Championship Season 7 champion, and the other one will mostly likely, he's still not here, but he usually comes in late hours. Mr. Sun Levi, he's not going to be over here. He's also the Race Department Grand Prix Season 4 champion, and he's not going to be around. And then I'll ask you 3, what do you think their absence will count towards the grid that we have today?
Well, it would appear, Lorenzo, we have still 14 drivers on the grid. 6 of them are champions previously on Race Department, and the rest of them qualified through a couple of events in Automobilista, Assetto Corsa, and Race Room Racing Experience. And, well, they will get the chance to hopefully bring the fight to the champions tonight.
Most definitely. Andrew, Jim, what's your take on the absence of these 2 champions, 2 great drivers on their own right? Do you think it's going to be very impactful for the grid, or it won't make any difference, and the race will be just exciting as always?
Well, I think we've got a good mix of drivers tonight from all the different games out there. Still, is it 14? I think we still got on the grid. So as Tobias said, it's still going to be okay. Sun Levi, not raced with him myself. I mainly stick to Automobilista. Hard to comments on Sun. Well, is he the rally champion? I think as well. He might have been able to do very well in the super trucks, which are very sideways vehicles indeed. But despite these much missed drivers, I think we're going to have a great event anyway.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew, what do you have to add? Come on, say something. Let's keep it engaged. Let's keep the action going, and soon I'll explain to you what's going to happen in these Race of Champions.
Well, I think that even with a couple of people missing from the grid, all of these guys are super quick. I mean, I wouldn't have a chance in hell of matching their lap times. And also that the vehicles tonight are fixed setups. Everybody's going in there with the same car, and so it's just going to come down to driver skill. And for example, this first race, it's a very short lap, so it's going to be really, really close all the way down the field.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. And by the way, we're going to mention now how it's going to happen. Well, we're into qualify. Qualify is about to start. It's going to be 10 minutes, really quick qualify. As said, fixed setups. Therefore, setups won't matter. It's basically pure driving skill and see how fast you are. But nevertheless, you could be the lucky guy, the underdog, and manage to go from the back to the front and win the race. In this matter, we're going to mention a little bit of our 3 races. We have 3 races where the first one will be in the Mitsubishi Lancers RS. They're 4-wheel drive. They're very capable handling. They're not fast, but they're very, very packy and punchy. The second one will be in the super trucks, which promises to be a great race. I think everybody over here can agree with me, of course. And the third one will be the Formula V's, which are open wheelers, just like the Formula Fords that we had, but they're less power, and they basically are more oversteering days, and they're very snappy and they're dangerous. I'll ask you 3 once again. What do you think? Which category of those 3 you think is going to be the one best for y'all?
I'm a huge fan of the Formula. Sorry, Jim. I'm a huge fan of the Formula V's, and I kind of wish I was in this race, honestly, because I could do pretty well with those. But that one's gonna be for Oscar and Ferdinand to fight out amongst each other, I think. And the super trucks are just gonna be pretty intense to watch. No idea how that's gonna turn out. A little bit of luck might factor in that category. We'll see.
Well, and I think Jim had something to say. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I was trying to jump in over Tobias there. Sorry, Tobias. I think the closest racing is going to be these Mitsubishi RS. I think it's going to be very close. Lots of fun in the super trucks. I really enjoy driving those, but keeping them going around the circuit without spinning or coming off, or even flipping or rolling them, is quite a skill. And we've got champions here, so they're up for the task. But that's not going to be an easy race at all. And the Formula V's, very sideways, very good fun. I'm personally looking forward to the super trucks the most, I think.
I agree with Jim that I think the Lancer race is going to be the closest, but pretty simply because I think they're the easiest of the 3 tonight. I mean, they're all-wheel drive, they're pretty standard. You have to throw them about quite a lot to lose control, whereas the vehicles that come later, like the super truck and the V, have to be a lot more specific and more precise. So I think the first race is going to be the closest, but I think the super trucks is probably going to be the most entertaining with all the potential spins and stuff like that on track.
You mean front flips?
Well, fingers crossed.
and possibly, you never know, drifts. I didn't say the other word, which means we're going to explain something named the drinking game. There is no drum rolls to hear tonight. We're not going to do that, I think. Does anybody want to do a drum roll?
Nope.
Thank God.
I don't think we're up to
Well,
that. We just need to drink more first, Lorenzo, I think.
Yeah, first of all, before I explain, we're going to have to take 4 sips of our drinks, because we got 4 followers in between this period we've been talking. I want to say thank you to Sepzone, thank you to Martin HRB, many men like Goon. My God, that's a good name. And Flicker FP, thanks for the following, and that means who wants to drink first?
There's another one, LNE001, if you haven't mentioned that one.
LNE001, thank you. Now that's 5 sips, and my first beer is about to end, so I'll just drink
5
this
sips,
first beer.
Yeah.
I thought
Might
wheel
as well call
drinking.
it
I mean, I've taken it easy. I'm on wheel ale here, so that's an easy drink for me. What about you guys? What are you on?
What I
Man,
have
I'm
here is
drinking
called-
beer.
I have Rothaus Pils. That's a north from Germany, from the Schwarzwald. Not sure what's that called in English. That piece of forest. But anyway, it's pretty good stuff. Really good stuff.
I take it you
Andrew?
got the free advertising there as well, Tobias. They gave you the beer for free for the mention.
I wish.
And Andrew, what are you drinking? Or what are you trying to drink? Soda doesn't count.
No, I have a couple of beers. That'll do me for tonight.
There you go. Well, in this case, I invite you guys at home on cell phones. You don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Don't drink and text and drive at the same time. It's dangerous. Ryan Boy 1539. Thank you. Now about to drink another sip, and let me explain how this is going to work. I'll get to the top 10 really shortly, but here goes. We're gonna take a sip whenever someone goes off track, so lead changes, a new fast lap is set. There is a multiple car crash. We hope that doesn't happen because it's one sip per car involved. So everything can go wrong. Number five is I curse in Portuguese. Will most likely happen because I'm Brazilian and I'm gonna get a little bit excited. The commentary has lag. The drinking game is mentioned on the broadcast, which I basically mentioned like 7-8 times. Charles
I think we might
Bachio's
have
food.
cut short on that one because
Yes,
otherwise we're
I'm
finish
probably
our
gonna have
drinks
to
in
do
5
that.
minutes.
Yeah. Charles Bachio food habits are revealed. Jim mentions how many viewers we are watching the stream. Do you want to do that, Jim?
Oh god, I can't actually see how many views are on the stream. I haven't got my usual software up. Let's see if I can have a look. Oh yes, I can see now 157 million viewers obviously on the stream. Thank you very much, guys. That's on Twitch. There'll be some of you on YouTube as well, but I can't see that at the moment. Thank you very much everybody for watching though. So yes, I think we all need to have another drink as well.
Well, I think we got 2 more followers and you mentioned the drink, so drink it up.
Are we even going to make it past the practice session? I'm not sure.
I really don't know. We got 5 minutes left to qualify. Oscar Hardwood is your first place right now in the grid. He got a 58 487. Ferdinand Lechner, as Tobias said, like he basically nailed right on the head. He's shortly behind, nearly 88,000 cents of time behind. Oscar Hardwick. Number 3rd is Charles Bachio. 4th place is Yuri Kazdorp, which happens to be the first one of our qualifiers that race in the qualifier races. He's in 4th place. Hampus Soderberg, which is your mini season 9 champion. He's in 5th place. Mateus Machado, he's your stock car championship season 4 champion. He's in 6th place. Ryan Seltzer is the touring car championship season 10 champion. He's in 7th. Rami Matila is in 8th. He's from the GT championship. He's in 8th place. Then number 9, Malachi Bacchus, another qualifier in 9th place. Christian Miro, another qualifier in 10th. Steve Legal, which is another qualifier in 11th. Aki Bjornstern, another qualifier, 12th. And then Jeffrey Tessenwa, Daniel Trapp round out in 13th and 14th. Our spots in this Race of Champions. We have over 3 minutes left, and I'll defer the question to you guys. What do you think is the key in this track for you to grab that a little bit of extra time and try to make yourself look better in the grid standings?
I think there's quite a good flow through the last few corners. You can roll the car in a lot more than you think, and so it's really important getting out of those corners as fast as you can down the really long straight. If you're familiar with this track from Formula 1, the Grand Prix layout, the difference with the national layout is that instead of going all the way up to turn 2, there will be a hairpin turn that then rejoins the track back at turn 5 of the Verth curve, and so it's a lot tighter, it's basically it's hardly anywhere that you're driving in a straight line except for the start-finish straight, and so I think the key to this is just getting those really good exits on those bits. Because in the corners, everybody's going to really be side by side, jostling position, door banging, but those exits are going to be key.
Yeah, Andrew, it's a very flowing track. I think most of the overtaking will be done into turn 1. Obviously, top speeds are going to be reached down that straight and braking hard into, I think it's the tightest corner on the track. So I think that's where we're going to see most of the action. But our viewers, you're going to be able to see on the left-hand side there the current standings of all the drivers on track, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're having a fantasy drivers league amongst the commentators, and we've all chosen who we reckon is going to win this race already. And that's right. Each commentator is going to get the points of that driver. I think that's how we're working it. Is that right, guys?
Yeah, and whoever wins gets to drink the full 6-pack. No, I'm lying. I wish you could drink a 6-pack. That would be amazing.
I don't need an incentive for that.
Neither do I. Well, nevertheless, let's go with the picks. We have around 1 minute left in qualify here in Red Bull Ring South. This is the short section of Red Bull Ring. Well, my pick will be I'm Brazilian. There's a Brazilian on the track. We have to stay together, united, and we don't deserve the 7-1. I'm gonna pick Matheus Machado to be my champion in the standings at the final of the 3 races. Well, Tobias, go ahead and pick yours.
I have selected Ferdinand Lechner because he's also known as Tim O'Glock, and he's destroyed all the AMS time trials. So I'm pretty sure he's going to do pretty well.
Yeah, Ferdinand was high on my list, but I have gone for Charles Baccio. I'm not sure if I'm getting the surname correctly there. But 5th place at the moment, Charles. And Andrew, who did you pick?
I picked Yuri Kazdorf. I've given him some grief in jest, obviously, in some of our club events, but he's very quick. And even though he's in 4th place, and once that race gets underway, I think he's going to be a real threat.
And Davey is participating also on this. Therefore, he picked Oscar Hardwick, which is a very fast driver. It doesn't matter which grid he's in. Actually, he was champion of season 8 of the Race Apartment Touring Car. Sorry, season 9 of the Race Apartment Touring Car Championship. So indirectly, you have 7 champions in this grid. Indirectly, but nevertheless, we are overqualified. Your top 3 will be Oscar Hardwick, Ferdinand Lechner, and Hampus Soderberg. Your top 3, but we have drivers trying to finish their laps over here, so that's provisional. We're waiting until warm up and then race until we see if there's any changes in the standings. But
and we have
very close.
Because
Go
Ferdinand
ahead.
just Ferdinand just took pole by 22 hundredths of a second.
Look at this, looky, sneaky boy. Oh
They're
my
flying
God.
last lap.
It's a really, really close grid. If you look, even the top 8 all within a second. So it's going to be a really close one.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, do you guys see a pattern here? All the AMS drivers, or like AMS regular drivers, are in the top 7 spots. So it seems like the experts for AMS showing what they're made of on this track and this particular combo.
Yeah, and but don't get us wrong. Like me and some other guys, we're regulars. Not so much. I'm lying. I don't do Automobilista so often. But I think, let's just say, maybe Jim and Tobias can insert themselves into, some good spots. You think you can grab the top 10 spot?
You think I could get in the
Andrew,
top 10?
go ahead.
I
You
don't
too.
think so.
I forgot that.
I'm definitely not quick enough to make the top 10. I race with Steve Legali very regularly. Some of the other drivers on there, Steve Legali, very regular attender. He's in 11th place. If I'm on a good day, I can keep up with Steve. So yeah, I'd be fortunate to make that top 10, I think.
Tobias, what about you?
Well, I'm not gonna humble brag here, so I'm not gonna do that. But I
Show
could
off.
probably not do.
Me too. I'm not going to commentate. Andrew, what about you?
Well, actually, I have a question on the YouTube stream, so I'll just get to that.
Go ahead.
Thomas
Bring it up.
Behes
Keep them coming.
he's asking how the format is going to be run. So I'm just going to tell you there are 3 races tonight. Each of them is 20 minutes. Each of them is going to be in a different car at a different track. So this first race is going to be 20 minutes around Spielberg National Circuit in the Mitsubishi Lancers. And then the next race is going to be 20 minutes in the Super Trucks. And I think that's going to be at Cascaville, the Rattlesnakes Raceway, as it's known. And then after that, a 20-minute race in the Formula V's, and that's going to be at Suzuka, or Kansai, as it's called in game.
Kansai! But
Guys.
nevertheless, I have a question to y'all 3. Actually, y'all 4, because Davey actually can hear us. Are you guys keeping up with the followers? There are so many
I was about to
followers. I
say.
forgot to say thank you. So keep them coming. Give us a
2
like
more.
on Twitch if you like. Jim, do you remember every single one?
I saw 2, so I'll give those a shout out if I can find them. The most recent one is a Wolf Grid, so we need to have a sip of our beers for Wolf Grid. Thank you very much, sir. And VSDPMO. Thank you, VSDPMO. He was the other person I saw. I'm sipping my beer as I speak almost.
Yeah, man. We're basically gonna be multitasking over here. So there's another little catch, that since we are 4 people, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a little bit confusing. There's going to be only one lead commentator for each race. Wrong. What is going to happen? Each race will be done by a singular person. Let's just say I'm doing the first race. Mister, oh my God, that nearly blew up my ears. I'm lying. Mr. Jim Knobs is going to take probably second race. They're going to have to decide on 201, either him or Andrew. They're going to have to decide who does second race, and whoever loses gets the third race. Basically simple. And Tobias is going to hear the call shenanigans, drink beer, and do race analysis because he's the fastest of the bunch. And JV is here to bring in the action and drink whatever he's drinking. We hope it's beer.
Yeah, did we do a run through of the standings because we were over the servers rolled over to the race mode? Did we go through a run through of the standings there? I can't remember.
I think we did, but nevertheless, I'll go through the
apologies.
standings. You want to take them through?
Yeah,
Because
I'll quickly
we're
go through.
13 seconds from the race, though.
Indeed, we've got a formation lap as well. So whilst the guys are just get preparing for that and heading out for the formation lap, Ferdinand Lechner took pole position as we saw right at the end there, sneaking that away from Oscar Hardwick in second place. Hampus Soderberg in third. Yuri Kazdorf brings home fourth place. Fifth place is my man that I've chosen, Charles Baccio. Well done, Charles. Matthias Machado in sixth place. Ryan Seltzer is seventh. Rami Matilla in 8th and Malaki Bacchus in 9th. Rounding off the top 10, Steve Legali. I see a change there. I thought he was 11th when I first had a look at them, but he's in top 10 now, so we'll be happy with that. Aki Bjorkston in 11th. Jeffroy Tasanoy in 12th. Daniel Trapp 13th. And that brings home all the actual drivers that are out on the grid tonight.
Most definitely, and we're taking some people over here, and I want to ask you guys at home, watching us on YouTube, watching us on Twitch. We're bringing action on both sides. We're really that good, aren't we? But we're seeing a lot of tire chugging, a lot of people spinning around, doing their brake checks and everything. I'll ask you guys at home, watching us, maybe at home, maybe at your cell phones at work. You never know. You could be with your friends, while dining out and doing stuff, because drivers are lining up really shortly on the grid. Who's your pick? We're doing 20 minutes of racing. Who's your pick? Who's going to win this one? And if you want to participate with us, participate with the friends on the drinking game. That is open for everybody over here on racedepartment.com. So we're approaching, all the drivers are actually lining up on the grid very shortly. We're going to have our race start over here. Race 1 will start here at the circuit of Spielberg. The leader, Ferdinand Lechner, already lined up, and the other drivers right behind him as well. Here we go. Lights are going red. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. We're going to be off. Here we go, people. Race begun over here at Spielberg. Good lap by a good jump start from Ferdinand Lechner. He's going to take probably that first curve in the top spot. But Oscar Hardwick goes deep inside and tries to take the position from Ferdinand, but not good. But nevertheless, everybody keeping it clean thus far. Very clean race with all those people keeping it clean on lap 1. Still, Ferdinand Lechner is the leader. They're going through turn 3 right now. And Ferdinand is already opening up a gap, people. A very good gap from Ferdinand, already launching off against Oscar Hardwick.
Watch out for Hampus Soderberg. He was looking pretty well, and he's very close to Oscar.
Hey, he's very close to Oscar. He's actually coming up, but I think someone has something to say.
I say Malachi Bacchus and Ryan Seltzer are pretty much side by side for the last couple of corners. That 7th and 8th place. Ryan Seltzer holding on to 7th there for a couple of turns as they head down to the first corner of the braking zone. Malachi Bacchus is right in.
Yeah, they're gonna hit it right. Gives a little bit of a friendly brake check, and Malachi goes in deep, and Ryan does the axe and actually takes back his position. But Malachi is already side to side with Aki Bjorkston. He's about to lose the position because Aki got the inside. He got the better line, and he does. Good move from Bjorkston, and is actually moved up a place in this grid, and probably looking forward to get on Ryan Seltzer. He has a good pace, but you never know. This is only the beginning of the race. We have still a lot of race left here at racedepartment.com. Once again, if you like the broadcast, give us a like on Twitch and or subscribe us on YouTube. It is always appreciated. I don't know if you got any new likes. Jim, you're keeping up with that one. Just so let us know.
There's been several. Sabi, I didn't quite catch the whole of the name, but Sabi has liked shortly ago, a few moments ago Doodle127's in there as well. I know I've missed a few, so those followers that I haven't managed to mention mention, apologies. The start of the race was quite exciting. Couldn't quite catch everybody who was following the stream there, but much appreciated. Even if you didn't get the shout out, we do appreciate that follow.
So it seems like
Well-
Oscar is not giving up so easily now. Even though he got a bit of a gap on Ferdinand at the start, he's starting to get a bit aggressive with Ferdinand now, showing that he's there and all that.
He has
Yeah,
a
the
supporter
bid,
in
yeah.
the YouTube channel as well, Thomas Baker, saying, and go Oscar. So if only the driver could hear him.
Yeah, I think the support is really big towards Oscar over here. There are a lot of people cheering for Oscar Hardwick, a very popular driver and a really, really strong driver on his own right. The gap is actually around 3/10 of a second, so if he keeps up this good pace, he can actually close down as a good fight towards Ferdinand, as he's still within that 3/10 of a second gap towards Ferdinand Lechner here around on lap 3 on this race here at Nürburgring. I'm already fumbling up. Or is that here at Spielberg? You see what the beer does with us, you devil people. But nevertheless,
Hey, it's my idea.
yeah, it's your idea, Tobias. I'll blame you.
Of course you do.
I'm gonna blame you basically on everything. But nevertheless, I like this.
See, I
but
think
nevertheless,
the lead is. Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say, I think
Go
the
ahead.
lead here, it's all down really to Rindt corner and the last corner, turn 8, because that's what's getting Oscar all over the back of Ferdinand.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
right there.
I
now,
was
isn't
gonna
it?
say good catch.
It's right
But
there
doesn't like
down
this-
the back straight.
Just this tiny bit of slipstream that really helps to keep for Oscar to stay under the rear wing of Ferdinand. And I think we might have to take a sip soon if this keeps up, because a lead change means we have to take a sip.
Yeah, and the fastest lap, which, did you guys take your sips? Oh, here goes Oscar Hardwick, very close on the back bumper of Ferdinand Lechner, nearly 2/10 of a second on Ferdinand Lechner. He's probably going to have that move on turns 5 right now. Here he goes, Oscar Hardwick on the outside of Ferdinand Lechner. They're side-to-side approaching curve 5. They're nearly door to door. They're nearly banging doors on the second to last curve. They're still side to side. They have a little bit of a touch, and Oscar actually lets Ferdinand go. Otherwise, it would be very dangerous for them. And Ferdinand still retains your lead. So therefore, we're not sipping beers, people. Don't say yay. Yay!
Safe for another few corners there, certainly. I don't think. I think Ferdinand's got a fight on his hands there with Oscar to go 2 wheels down
Boy,
turn 1.
Ferdinand going
Hits that-
2 wheels.
hits
Here on the
that curve
first curve.
hard.
Well, one thing we can definitely say, gentlemen, we got a really good race going on all throughout the track. Especially, like in the 2 first positions in the back ones, like we got some good fights going on. For example, Malachi Bakas is about to lose his position to get threatened by Aki Bjornsson. He did a bit of a mess on turn 2, and Aki on the back bumper of Malachi.
Oscar Hardwick
But-
managed to tuck himself right behind Ferdinand on the second to last corner, so he's going to have the slipstream, or he's hoping for it, down that start and finish straight. I think he's going to be there. He'll be. Here he goes, poking his nose
here
out
he
as he
goes.
dives to the inside. If you want to take over, Lorenzo.
Oh yeah, here he goes, Oscar Hardwick approaching turn 1, side to side. They both break at the same time. They have Ferdinand has a little bit of a gap on the outside because he's not touching that inside outage, and
That's brought
Ferdinand
Hampus
actually
Silverberg
holds
and
down the
Yuri Wright
lead.
in the mix.
But yeah, Hampus is saying, hello partners, I'm here to take your positions. If you guys keep going with this madness, we still have 13 laps to go in this race. Well, once again, if you're liking us on Twitch, give us that like, is always appreciated. I don't know if you got more anymore, so I can sip on my beer. I'm gonna take care of that. So Jim, take it
I
away.
say the only one I can see, I've been watching that action too closely. The only one I can see is the latest follow, which is shown as Biscuits 4K has followed. I know we've had at least 6 or 7 more than that, but yes, Biscuits 4K, thank you very much, sir. As Oscar Hardwick once again goes for the inside line into turn 1. He's going to be side by side, Ferdinand and Lechner keep
Yeah,
hold of
now
it
he
for
got
another
the
turn.
overlap.
We're going to have a sip because that lead has changed, but will Ferdinand take it back again?
Should
That's some
be
exciting stuff.
wait until the final of the lap. I'm gonna take my sip.
Well, it might change 4 or 5 times in a single lap. We'll have to see. But that's brought 4 drivers really into that race for the first place. If Oscar or Ferdinand make any mistakes, then Hampus Soderberg and Yuri Kazor are going to be right there, ready to pounce and pick up those places if they can do.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed from actually Oscar, he's actually picking a skin, like not a skin, but a livery, which is very close to his team skin livery, which is his team, the Magenta Pro Warriors racing team that he drives on VEC, which is the very traditional pink and black. Therefore, I think only Marius Mirvold from our staff from race department is watching that. He's liking the pink car on Oscar Hardwick, but Ferdinand Lechner is still putting pressure on Oscar Hardwick here on the beginning of the lap, but nevertheless, Oscar Hardwick actually closes the door, but that allows Yuri Kazorp, Hampus Soderberg, and both Yuri to actually close down that gap and start a 4-way battle over here. Still 12 minutes to go in this race.
Yeah, it's like one of these moments where the top 2 are holding each other up so much that Hampus and Yuri, who were like 1 second back previously, are now so close that they might even capitalize on something happening at the front. But I think as soon as like Oscar and Ferdinand get into a sort of a rhythm, they're going to pull away again. But right now there's no chance of that even happening.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, yeah, if they can start fighting for that leader, they might allow a little bit of gap over 3rd and 4th place. But right now, Hampus Soderberg is really staying in close behind. On the last time they went round turn 1, I almost thought he had a bit of a run on Ferdinand and was maybe looking at an overtake, but it didn't quite transpire. But he's certainly very close. Once again, is Hampus Soderberg there in 3rd place.
And Oscar does a little bit of a mistake. Ferdinand's trying to cap it in, and Oscar with a little bit of a BTCC. He saw him driving, closing the door, not giving a damn buck to Ferdinand Lechner, and it still retains the lead. But that still allows Hampus Soderberg to close down that gap. He's basically sitting quiet up there, waiting for either driver to make a mistake. He's playing it safe. He's basically doing what he has done in the mini league: play it safe and look for that open gap for him to capitalize and kill them with one delivery blow. Because right now we're opening another lap here at Red Bull Ring. Ferdinand Lechner still trying to catch up to Oscar Hardwick. They are door to door every single lap. They're not giving up 1 inch of the fight, but Oscar still bravely holding down that lead. Goes wide once again going wide and not giving a chance to Ferdinand to retain any advantage whatsoever. I was gonna ask you guys, don't you think that's an aggressive move? But do you guys consider this kind of move legal?
Yeah,
I mean,
think
Oscar is putting himself at risk with these kinds of moves more than Ferdinand, I think, and it's like a clever thing to do because these are 4-wheel drive cars. They're kind of stable, so a tap on the rear does not upset them as much as you would think, and then they just keep. Oscar just uses the car very cleverly to defend right now, and I think Ferdinand has to worry about Hampus attacking now to 3-1. No, not quite.
Yeah, but Ferdinand now takes a really good line on turn 1, and I really expect now Oscar, he's basically outbraking himself on this turn 2. I don't know if that's outbraking or he's taking a deeper line in the entry and then going deep on the exit for a faster turn, a faster exit. My apologies. But nevertheless, now he opens up a little bit of a gap, 0.3 seconds, 0.3 of a second over Ferdinand, but still not out of the waters. 8 minutes left in this race here at Red Bull Ring. Well,
I don't
but
think
that
we could
still
have asked for a
allows
better race.
Ferdinand to close down the gap. Go ahead, Andrew. What's up?
I was going to say, I don't think we could have asked for a better first race. I mean, it's just as we predicted, really, really close racing. I know the guys who are watching on YouTube, hello to you guys, they're really enjoying it. We've got Brandon Wrights watching it at work, for trying to kill his last hour.
And by the way, I'm going to interrupt you really
that.
quickly. Hold up. Go to 8th place, people. Malachi Bacchus, we got a 3-way battle going on. Jeffrey Tassenbaum, Malachi Bacchus, and Daniel Trapp going on hard and profound. Like, we got battles all over the field, people. Do you think you only have at the front? you think wrong. We got sorry, I thought it was a 3-way battle, but I'm wrong. It's a 4-way battle, but something is gonna go wrong on turn 1. Oh, nearly it does. Jeff goes in deep on turn 1, and is now staying behind and losing places now to Rami Mattila and probably Steve Legal. But no, he doesn't lose to Steve Legal. But people, we got action going on in the final minutes. Everybody's trying to be a little bit funny now.
This 8th place battle is quite significant as well because it's the last points-paying position here. We've got points from 1st to 8th place, and this final point could make a difference in the end. We have no idea what's going to happen here. So that's like 8th place until 13th place. So all fighting it out for that final points-paying position there. So that's worth looking out for during the rest of the race.
Yeah, there's pretty much 3 battles going on here. Isn't there? The first place battle, 4 drivers involved with that, Oscar, Ferdinand, Hampus and Yuri. 5th and 6th place, Charles Macchio, Matthias Machado fighting hard there. The only driver that's pretty much by himself is Ryan Seltzer, because as you say, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th, I think it is, and 12th in fact getting involved there for that final group of cars going around.
Yeah, now way in the back, Aki going really deep in turn 1, last position to Malachi, but probably going to recover. No, Malachi going a little bit of NASCAR on Aki, but still retains the position. They're going hard at it, like bumper to bumper, and it's a 6-way battle. Like if anyone makes a mistake, they're going to last place. So they're not putting anything to lose, aren't they? They are definitely going at it, not making any efforts. They're hitting each other's doors for keeping themselves in track and within gap. We have 6 minutes left to go here in this race, and I just saw something really funny inside the Twitch stream, which people are complimenting our commentary, saying like we're on crack, people.
That's you, Lorenzo.
Maybe is it me?
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Yeah. Now the question is it me, or it could be the entire of the broadcast, because you never know. It could be me. Yeah, it could be me. Yes.
Oh,
but nevertheless,
Leschner's really close to Oscar right now.
Yeah, he's going in deep on turn 1, nearly on the verge of the outside. Oscar taking a deeper line in turn 1, but retaining the lead. But Ferdinand is still within a pretty sizable gap, and Oscar goes wide on turn 2.
Bit of a bump.
A little bit of a friendly bump. Here we go, people. Are we going to sip another chug of beer? Here we go.
Oh, yeah. That was really tight. Like Ferdinand,
Right, that was dangerous. Yeah, that was
So I think
dangerous.
they're starting to go a bit rougher on each other now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, they don't want to be timed, but right in the back, Yuri Kozarp making a dive bomb by Hampus Soderberg. Still side to side on second to last turn. And Oscar up in front, not giving up the fight, catching that traffic, and Yuri takes third place from Hampus Soderberg with 4 minutes left to go. People, we have a brawl going on.
Yeah, Oscar Hardwick's diving for the inside line. The last 5 minutes,
Yeah.
last quarter of the race. I think the drivers are taking a few more risks now, especially these
Yeah, here
first
we go,
4
another chug of
battling
beer.
hard. Yes, almost another. Well, he's another chug of beer. Even yes, I've had 2 myself already. Oscar Hardwick back in the lead.
Yeah,
Some
but now
interesting news about Christian Moreau, who's not in this race because he's currently in the practice for the super truck. So look out for him next race.
Yeah, he's bringing that super truck or trucks in action going on. He's going to be ready and furious to ride. But what I heard as well, he was having force feedback problems during practice, so he wasn't very sure to keep up with the pace. But nevertheless, let's go up front. Let's go up front. We got action going on for the millionth time here at Red Bull Ring. Ferdinand Lechner is still in the back bumper. Oscar Hardwick, like nearly bumper to bumper. And I feel a dive bomb might become. No, he's not going to dive bomb. He's taking a deeper line. Not 2 wheels on off the ground, but nevertheless, Oscar retains the lead here on race 1 with a little bit left, with a little bit more than 3 minutes to go in this race. And do you guys thought this would be this close, this amazing to watch?
Yeah, of course.
Come on,
I think
be honest.
Andrew and myself, we both predicted it, so I think it was
Oh,
hard
you
on hearts with
predicted
all
it.
odds.
Oh, okay.
And with
Charles Baccio, I think, is who that lost it.
yeah, Charles
Didn't
Ledger
it?
was
I think
fighting.
we totally missed
think,
that.
with Matias Machado. I think he was in fifth. He'd lost a few laps ago and got down to sixth. Matias taken that place, and yeah, now down in seventh. So if there was a little bit of contact, that would explain it.
Question is, does that constitute a multi-core pileup?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I was thinking, oh, here we go, Ferdinand. Don't take him out, Ferdinand. There you go. There you go. Nice and clean. Very good, Ferdinand. Still keeping that gap over Oscar Hardwick. They're making a big risk. They're nearly locking tires. But now, Oscar, we got people in the room. Who's in the room? Someone joined this room.
Let's keep going.
Bram, our almighty leader, Bram Hengenveld, is in this room watching us here this race at Race 1. Other
Maybe
race
he might be
department, Race
concerned
of
due to our
Champions.
drinking habits. Maybe he's coming to keep an eye on us.
Yeah, he, probably
Steal some
he's
drinks.
keeping an eye on us, trying to make sure we're actually keeping it cool. But we have 1 minute and 40 left in this race. So we basically, in a nutshell, we have 2 laps to go, the way this is going. So people, with 2 laps to go, do you guys think that lead change will happen on the final lap or in this lap? Leave your comments on YouTube, leave your comments on Twitch, and we'll try to keep it up with this action as Fernand deep on the brakes, touching Oscar Hardwick's bad, giving that friendly tap on Oscar Hardwick. Here we go, people. They're not measuring efforts to win this race. And
Indeed.
someone-
Should come and
Yeah,
join this the Twitch team so you can see butt touching. That'll get us a few more viewers.
So should we call this a clickbait?
Could be. And I haven't actually mentioned how many views we've got on Twitch. There's 227 million viewers, guys. 227 million.
Man,
But hey,
this much?
no, be more accurate. It's 227,000,001.
Oh,
Wow. All right.
Oh,
Hold your
side by
doors.
side again on the start finish
Side by
line.
side again. Here we go. Probably.
Ferdinand
We have
taking off.
45 laps to go. 45 seconds to go. 45 laps to go. Oh my God. Last lap of this race, most likely. Ferdinand Lechner wanting badly to win
he's
this
under the
race. He
Oscar's
has a better
wide.
line on turn 1. Oscar goes deep in turn 1. They start decided on turn 2. Will Oscar try any shenanigans?
Well, he's
Oh,
gonna go
that's
back
good.
to the
Goes in deep. Yeah,
inside.
they're touching. Ooh,
The over and
boy.
I
But
think
Ferdinand now,
Ferdinand's got this.
chug your beers, people. Chug your beers.
That was a fantastic
Because Ferdinand
overtake by
already opened
Ferdinand.
up a 10-second of a gap on Oscar Hardwick, and the way this is looking, Ferdinand might take race 1 unless Oscar does something crazy, and Oscar likes to do something crazy from time to time, but that doesn't seem likely. We are out of time in Red Bull Ring. The way this is going, Ferdinand Lechner with a pretty bonkers move on the final turn. They're going to be side to side. No, they're not. And Ferdinand Lechner takes
And it's
race
another
1
lap. No, it's a
here
plus
at
one,
the
it's
Race
an
of
extra lap.
Champions.
No, it's
Oscar,
a +1. It's another lap to go.
There's a
another
+1.
lap to go.
I was
yeah,
wrong.
Yeah.
Commentators, curse. I'm so I made a mistake. I was fooled.
Ferdinand Lechner, he's held on to it though through turn 1. He's got Oscar Hardwick all over the back of his car. Only a couple more turns to go to make it through that midsection, the flowing midsection. Oscar Hardwick is close behind.
We have a DNF as well, I think.
Yeah, we have a DNF as well here in this race. That might be Jeffrey Tessenois. Yeah, that's Jeffrey Tessenois, but that doesn't matter now. What matters is up front. Ferdinand Lechner is still holding that gap on Oscar Hardwick. It's 0.2 of a second, 2 to 3/10 of a second right now here at the final turn. Ferdinand
and fourth
Lechner
is-
goes
sorry.
in deep. No drama whatsoever.
No, Ferdinand's
And
got
the
it.
way
The
this is
third and
going,
fourth is very close, I think.
true. Third and fourth is going to be very close, and Ferdinand Lechner takes race 1 here at the Race Department Race of Champions. Oscar Hardwick with the very hard-fought 2nd place, and Hampus Soderberg with the very also hard-fought 3rd place. Yuri Kazorb is your 3rd place. 4th place, my mistake. Mateus Machado is 5th. Ryan Seltzer is number 6. Number 7 goes to Charles Baccio. Number 8 is Malachi Bacchus, but Malachi is not out of the woods. He's not out of the woods, people. He's still 8th place provisionally because Aki got a good line. Is it going to be enough? Malachi's rolling his car. That means Malachi is 8th place in this race. Aki Bjorkston is in 9th. Steve Legal is in 10th. Rami Matilla is 11th. Daniel Trapp 12th. And to round out your field is going to be Jeffrey Tassenois. He's your 13th place in this race. Boys and girls, this has been race 1 of the Race Department Touring Car Championship. Now I'm lying. This is Race of Champions. This is not a league. This is a special event. My name is Lorenzo Bounder. I'm drinking Heineken and beers. With me is Jim Knobs, Tobias Reuner, and Andrew James. And in the cameras is Mr. Davey Van de Ven. We appreciate that you guys have been watching us. But boys and girls, what a race. What a first race, right?
Well, yeah, that was pretty boring, wasn't it?
It's kind of as we thought it might pan out. It was a very close, several groups around the track. Awesome racing. I don't think we saw a single bit of contact that wasn't in the spirit of the race at all. Really nice, respectful driving. Very close, very respectful, very exciting.
Do any of you guys know why it is that Tassenois retired in the end?
I did not see what happened to them.
Well, I was going to hop over into the chat channel of the drivers, see if I can get a few of them in here. So if you want to hold the fort, guys, we'll see if we can get Mr. Tassenois in here, maybe a few of the others as well.
Here we go. Let me try to do the work. You guys keep on talking. I'll bring them in.
You go, Lorenzo. You go.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll be right back.
You're like a supernova, you light up my dark. You burn me like fire and tear me apart. And when I think it's over, you suck me in like a black.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. Thank you for sticking with us while we had that little bit of holding music. We have the drivers mostly onto the second server for the Super Trucks, but we've got a couple of drivers with us in the broadcast chat room here at the moment. So let's hear from a few of those. I think it's only appropriate that we go straight to Oscar. Oscar Hardwick, you managed to win that race there in the Mitsubishis.
I think I came second.
Did you come first? No,
No, second from memory, I definitely came second.
Well,
Beer is
okay,
already
this is-
affecting your brains.
Indeed, we've been doing a drinking game in the commentary booth, and that's obviously affecting my commentary. So maybe I should just keep quiet. But anyway, Oscar, I think it's only appropriate that we go to the second place driver, Oscar Hardwick, as I can't see Ferdinand in the chat here at the moment. Anyway, so Oscar Hardwick came second. Thank you for the correction, Oscar. Great race, constant battles with you and Ferdinand. Looked really good from our point of view. How did it go for you, sir?
Tense. Mostly, just very tense. I seem to have an advantage sort of off of the medium speed corners, which would put me in position to overtake into turn 1, and then Ferdinand just had way more on the brakes everywhere, so it was a bit of to and fro, and like, to be fair, I think he did have ultimate pace over me, in as much as whenever I could break a 4 or 5 tenth gap, he would immediately just put his foot down for a few corners and close it up again, so it was good fun racing. The concern was always the two behind getting involved, and that could have really thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. But it was fantastic fun, and you know, Ferdinand, who we all know as a hot lap specialist from the time trials in Automobilista, it was nice to be able to sit down and race him and see that actually is not a one-trick pony, and that he can do that all day long in a race and battle you properly. So really fantastic, good fun. You're frustrated I didn't win, but what are you going to do?
Well, I think after a race with that amount of excitement, it's hard to complain. Not to say you're not doing it at all. It's hard to complain about a race with that quality of driving and that amount of excitement. So, well done, Oscar, on your second place, almost a win for you, sir. In the battle, you mentioned that you had Yuri Kasdorf and Hampus Soderberg were just behind you, and with that constant battle you were having with Ferdinand, they were almost making it a four-way battle for that lead. We've got Yuri in here in the chat. I can't remember. I dared to mention it myself, but where did you actually finish here? Did you manage to get third? I thought you did, but am I correct?
No, I didn't. You're a bit off tonight.
Thank you.
That's 0 for 2.
But yeah, let's go for 2. Yuri, where did you finish third?
Yeah, I finished 4th.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I was having a run on the last corner and then I missed shift, so 10th behind 3rd, but it'll do.
How are you guys feeling about the Super Trucks? I mean, I know they're a handful. They're a lot of fun, but my God, they are a handful. You mentioned briefly when we were off air, well, Oscar's gone actually. So Oscar mentioned earlier he found them a handful, and that's why he was happy to stay in the chat with us. Don't want to keep you too long, Steve, Matthias, and Yuri. Let's go with Matthias Machado. You're here. Matthias, what are your thoughts on the Super Truck? How are you going to cope with those, sir?
I've never driven these cars.
Okay.
So,
good
yeah. So it's gonna be good. I've read the pace notes. There is 3 gears. I have to use the handbrake. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it is.
Wait, handbrake?
They have handbrake.
Yeah, they have handbrake.
That yet.
Handbrake pressure. I'm looking at the setup.
A quick word of advice, I've driven them a little bit. So you've got obviously jumps on the Super Truck tracks. You need to compress the front springs at the bottom of the ramps to get a good controlled jump if you don't want to be spinning and rolling. So just as you hit the bottom of the jump, dab the brakes and then obviously nail that throttle to get hopefully a controlled flight when you take off. That's the only tip I can give you. And Steve Legali, we still have you here.
Hold up. Let me just interrupt you very quickly.
Go.
John Tunga, thanks for the follow. Bring up beer time.
Play a beer time. Okay. Who did I choose? Oh, Charles was 7th place. I don't know. Do I have to drink? I choose Charles Wetcher as my driver for the first race.
Did you
do I have
choose
to drink
Charles?
For that one? I thought so. And
What
my
have you
memory's
been
going,
drinking
obviously.
already?
Yeah. Who was the winner? Who chose Ferdinand out of the commentators? Who chose somebody did? I
It
thought.
was me, Tobias.
Oh, well, you get to finish your drink then.
German bias.
Cannot I must.
Steve, you're here. Sorry, go ahead. Talk over here. Just want to let Steve get to the practice sessions. I don't want to keep him long, and he stayed here Very diligent. Thank you very much, Steve. How did you find race 1? You racing with champions here. I know you managed to make it through on one of the selection races, so congratulations to you there. So representing Guernsey, how did you find race 1?
Well, first of all, it's a great privilege to be here tonight amongst these drivers. They are something else. They really are. I was lucky to get 10th. And that's absolutely as it comes.
Up, Steve. No prizes for sucking up.
It really is a factor, it's as simple as that. But the thing is, I managed 10th, so I was doing something right out there. Anybody can have a crack at this. It's great fun.
It is indeed. Thank you very much, Steve, for being with us and having a quick chat. I'll let you get back to the race, and we'll go back to the drivers, the commentator's driver's choice. Where do we get to? Sorry to take control away from you, Lorenzo. I'll give it back to you and the other commentators.
No problem, man. Like, you do your job, I do my job. Everybody does their job. Everybody is happy. I guess everybody should be happy. Everybody should be excited, because this is a good day. First of all, it's the last day, useful day of the year. Therefore, because tomorrow is the 31st, and this year is about to end. 2016 was a crazy year, right? But nevertheless, back to the matter. Let me just give a quick shout out to Ferdinand Lechner for using the number 37 car. Go 37.
Andrew, who did you choose as your driver? And remind us. And
I forgot to say my driver. Mateus. Go Brazil.
Go Brazil. So, Tobias, have you been keeping track of those scores? How are the commentators doing? Have you had a chance to update it, or am I putting you under pressure?
I have updated, and looks like I'm in the lead right now. So my pick Ferdinand is leading with 10 points. Then it's Davey who picked Oscar, and Davey has second with 7 points, so pretty tight there. Then Andrew has picked Yuri, who's currently in 4th place with 5 points. Lorenzo has picked Mateus, currently in 5th place, championship with 4 points. And Jim has picked Charles, currently 7th. So still all to play for. All the drivers at least scored points.
They did. We often made some reasonably educated guesses. Are we picking new drivers then for the next round on the Super Trucks? Is that the plan? We each pick a new one?
Nah, we keep it as always.
Oh, you sure? I was thinking maybe we pick new ones for each round, and you have to.
You want to pick one each round? We can pick one each round.
I was trying to advantage myself because I was thinking whoever's last in the commentator gets to go first.
Sneaky.
That's what I was thinking. But I don't mind. We can stick with the same ones, or we can go for new drivers each time. Certainly the different classes of cars, not to detract from the racing too much that we've seen tonight, the different classes of cars are really going to mix it up. And I think with the Super Trucks, it really is anybody's race. If the only advantage I can imagine with these, if you've had the opportunity to drive them before, if you're an AMS or regular, then that is going to be a bigger advantage with these than possibly any of the other cars we're going to be seeing them tonight. What do you want to do, guys? Yeah. Do we pick new ones, or do we stick with our drivers? I'm happy with the way. I don't mind.
I don't mind either.
We're gonna stick with those because otherwise I have too much work.
Okay.
I think it's interesting though, compared to the first race, where the whole of the top 9, 10 covered by a second. If the practice lap times are anything to go by, this is going to be a bit of a different affair, because Ferdinand Lechner is a second and a half faster than anybody else. And the top 9, the top 8 for example, separated by a huge 7 seconds. So it's going to be a bit of a different race, but with the jumps in there as well, you never know what's going to happen.
Indeed. Well, Ferdinand Lechner has managed to sneak into the top place as it stands at the moment. He's not out on track right now, but Ryan Seltzer is. He's in second. He's a second and a half back, which is a big gap, or you pass that as a big gap in most events. But
2 wheels.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Who's that was on the scene? Was that Christian or Moreau? I think was on 2 wheels and folding it there briefly. But yeah, I think 1.5 second gap between Ferdinand and Ryan is not a lot really in these cars. Certainly once the race gets underway, 20 minutes of this, if you can keep it on track, then I think you've got a good chance.
I think as well the track is really really good for these vehicles, because turn 1, I'm sure Lorenzo is gonna punish me for my pronunciation, but turn 1 is called Basiao, and it's really, really fast corner, and in these, it's so easy just to put on a bit too much throttle and just end up drifting wide and spinning around. And also, straight after that, you have this like small dip, Magulio corner, and that's you have to get that right, because immediately after you have this right-hand turn, and if you get turn 2 wrong, you're going to be in trouble all the way up to this next. Well, it's not exactly straight, but that basically does the same thing, but you can pick up some speed.
Yeah, I was gonna mention, like, there are a lot of turns in Cascavel where you can take part of it. Just to let you know, really quickly, that was really close. Like, the first turn is named Basio.
Yeah, it was close. Okay.
Yeah, you have to say.
Do I get
with
points
a
for
little.
that?
You get points, yes.
You get a couple of sips.
Okay, my
Yeah,
wife's
you get an extra sip.
My wife's family is from Portugal, so I'm just going to say that was like the Portuguese interpretation of the Brazilian Portuguese, and that will get the hook, right?
That works. Yeah, that works. That works. The second word you said right though is mergulho. But nevertheless, let me go back. We're here to qualify 10 minutes in. The clock running out, every driver behind one another. I really can't wait to see these cars doing drifts. I'm saving the word for later, people. Don't worry. There is still a word I'm gonna say in these cars that they deserve, but I'm saving it for later. So, nevertheless, this is good. What's up?
I was going to say, I don't know if we cameraman Davey, I know he's listening. If he switches to Ferdinand, he's just crossed the start-finish line on a flying lap. So he goes into turn 1, a very fast left-hander. He's locking up the rear of the car and it's kicking that back end out. The risk of these cars, or these trucks rather, is that the front end picks up on the power and you end up on 3 wheels, if not 2. He's then down to a braking zone, braking on a little bit of a corner, trying to keep the car under control. A massive drift there for Ferdinand through that corner, and then into a tight right-hand corner, the slowest corner on the track, I believe. He's through that very quick, so he's about halfway through the lap now. Is Ferdinand Lackner a little chink in the track, a little chink right, before we come to another 2 left-hand corners. The second of the 2, which he is almost upon, here it comes, is the tighter. Just keeping it within the bounds of the red and white rumble strips. Once again, kicking that back out, and we've got a jump here. He's over that smoothly. The car was balanced. Oh, he's over it smoothly. Commentator curse strikes. That is a sip, boys. We have a flip or a roll. I think that's the sip of our beers. So we almost got a full lap from Ferdinand as this car still trickles down the track on its side, and the game auto writes it. So it was looking like a very nice lap by Ferdinand, but it wasn't to be.
And if that happens in the race with all the traffic behind, you're not going to know who's going to win that race.
Indeed, side by side over a jump is a risky business. Indeed, it's a brave driver who decides to do that. Certainly early on in the race, you'll be risking a lot. There's still sort of 15 minutes to go if you decide to go side by side over a jump. All it takes is for the guy next to you to get a little twitch or a bad takeoff, and obviously there's nothing you can do to alter the trajectory of the car once it's in the air. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if these guys can survive 20 minutes without serious.
Watch out for that lap time. Like he just flew past Ryan Stats on those corner complexes and opposite luck.
It's like you said earlier as well, Jim, that they really do need to be careful when they're taking those jumps. They need to be straight, and also needs to give it like a dab in the brakes just before they hit the ramp, and that will help them to maintain that, a stable vehicle on landing.
Yeah, you can, mentioned when we were interviewing some of the drivers, you can compress the front springs at the bottom of the ramp so that when, and this is how they do it in real life as well, you compress the front springs with a dab of the brake and then nail that throttle to get it balanced nicely in there, poised nicely. You can see that with many of the drivers that's what they're doing. But you can also alter, I'm not sure what the word would be, but you can alter the angle of the car, both the left and right twist as well as the front right sort of, would that be yaw? I'm not sure, I've got no idea. These words are too complex for me. But you can alter those by either altering the angle of the steering and by using the throttle to spin the wheels up as well whilst you're in the air.
Yeah. Jim, really quickly.
Go for it, sir.
You probably guys didn't hear me because I'm running this game on the administrator mode, so it could be a little bit buggy. But I snuck on the D word. The Dorito word.
Oh, that word, okay.
Oh, did you? Ah. Okay. is that a naughty wording?
I think it's more of a beer world.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Ferdinand.
Yeah, where's Duncan?
Well, if I'm going to have to take a sip of beer, then I am going to have to go AFK for a moment whilst I refill my glass, guys. Surely some of you guys have a piece of beer by now. How many are you on?
I got
I'm on
2
my second.
bottles on with me.
I'm on my 4th beer.
You're on your
Yeah,
fourth
I'm
one
on my
already.
3rd one. Actually, Tobias is winning me by 1.
Well, I'm lagging. My sips obviously are very, very petite, very ladylike sips. Is what I'm doing. I'm only on my 2nd, but I'm going to quickly disappear to the fridge to get another cool one. I should be back in a moment. I'm sure you guys can take over whilst I do that.
Yeah, I think
It
Andrew
is.
or Tobias, go right ahead. I'm restarting my game.
Alright, well,
Go ahead,
we've got
Lorenzo.
5 minutes left of qualifying, and it's still up for grabs. Anybody could possibly get it. Although Ferdinand Lechner has set a fast time, 1.3 seconds ahead of everybody else. I think it'd be hard for anybody to really catch that. But 2nd and 3rd place, they're definitely up for grabs. What do you think, Tobias?
Yeah, and Ferdinand's again knocking this one out of the ballpark. But we saw earlier how quickly anything can go wrong in these cars, and how quickly people, like more of an underdog situation can come out of it and suddenly find themselves in the lead of this race or even qualifying. It's such an unpredictable car. Ferdinand's driving spectacularly as he goes off the track.
Yes, commentator's curse again. Exactly, and also in the race situation, which is different from hot lapping, you've got so much more to deal with. I mean, you're going to have cars left, right, behind you. Like when you tap the brakes before going onto a ramp, you can so easily just get a bump from behind and sort of shift the balance of your car, make your truck sort of lean on its nose a lot more. So it's going to be really, really tough. They have to be on it, and as close as the first race was, because I personally think that's the easiest combination of car and track that we got tonight, because the all-wheel drive car is very stable.
Yeah.
It's basically the complete opposite in this race, and yet it's still going to deliver really close racing just for different reasons.
Yeah, exactly like you said. It almost, I mean, it's obviously a completely different batch of car, but it almost reminds you of like these late 90s Formula 1 races, which were really unpredictable because half of the field only finished, and this is kind of like that because you can never know until the last lap if someone's gonna make it to the finish.
Yeah, and putting ramps on the track definitely sounds like something that Bernie Eccleston would think of.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sprinklers would be fun too.
So Oscar Hardwick has set a faster lap now. He's looking 8/10 off. So I think it might end up being a repeat of the first race with Oscar and Ferdinand going at it again, trying to get that. He wants to get revenge, I think, in the second race.
Perhaps. I hope he's not out for revenge, physically. But he's looking pretty good in his. Finally love his car's Italian colors. Or is it Irish? I'm not quite sure. I was confused those two. Anyway, yeah, Oscar looking pretty strong, but another one who's looking strong is Mateusz Machado right now. He's mentioned to me he likes cars with like a little bit less grip, and I mean he was champion Brazilian stock V8s, which is a quite slidey car. So this might be up his alley, these super trucks. We have to expect some better results from him here.
Yeah, I think the people who are familiar with Automobilista have a bit of an extra advantage in this race because Cascavel is not like a very well-known track. I mean, I would never have heard of it if it wasn't for Automobilista. So if you're already familiar with the layout and if you've raced in leagues or club events at this track, I mean, it's a brilliant track and I'm so glad it's in the game. But if you haven't had the game before, it's not like the other two races where you might be more familiar with it, like Spielberg and later we're going to be at Suzuka. So they're tracks that you are more familiar with.
Yeah, right about that. And Cascavel really not one of the more well-known tracks, but certainly very, very good. Very well liked among most drivers as well. And still, it's not too long, so it's quite easy to get familiar with it. Especially in a car like this, where you're fighting the car more than you're fighting the track.
Yes.
So Yuri Kazdabov watching the board there, and I'm back with my beard, boys. I made it safely to the fridge and back. But Yuri Kazdabov just put in a nice lap. He's now up into the 3rd place. Just a second off Ferdinand Lechner in pole position as it stands.
I got a feeling about Yuri this race. I can just see Ferdinand and Oscar getting into each other's way, and Yuri just taking that lead.
Yeah. By the way, can you guys hear me?
We
can
can,
still hear you.
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yes.
I mean, welcome back.
Oh man!
Damn it.
I love watching these cars getting up on 2 wheels, and sometimes just 1 wheel. It looks really fun.
Yeah.
We are approaching the end of qualify. I
Indeed.
just saw on the stream Oscar Harwood nearly going 2 wheels.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Charles
gotta see
Backjoe
another of
having
that.
a crash as well, spinning on the on one of the X's before the ramp. It's not going to be an easy race for sure.
It's gonna be a tough one. And really quickly, Mr.
Konstantinos
Konstantinos Wagenvolks. Thank you
Hello,
for the
Feliz
like
there.
and people. Bottoms up.
Bottoms up, indeed. Yes, the clock's hit 0. The guys that are still out on track will be able to complete their lap if they manage to get across that start and finish a line before the clock hit 0. But Ferdinand Lechner is currently in the lead. He's got 8 tenths over Oscar Hardwick, so I would expect him to keep hold of that, although Oscar Hardwick is still on track out on a hot lap. He might be able to take the lead. Oscar Hardwick is in second, Yuri Kazlov in third, and Oscar has now finished, so he's going to be remaining in second, I would think. Fourth place, Matthias Machado. Fifth place is Hampus Soderberg, Ryan Seltzer, sixth. Charles Baggio brings home seventh. Charles is my driver. Seventh again, so hopefully Charles will be able to improve on that starting position by the end of the race. Who else have we got? Christian Moreau in 8th, Mari Matilla is 9th. Aki Bjorsten, he was involved in quite a bit of a battle with Malachi Bakat, I think it was, in the first event. He brings home the top 10. 11th is Daniel Trapp. Steve Legale is in 12th, Malachi Bakas 13th. Jeffrey Tassanoy is 14th. I didn't see any of the orders change there, guys. I'm hoping that's the case. Did you see anything swap around in the closing moments?
I did.
No, I was on board with Rami Matilla, but I don't think he managed to improve his position. He's in 9th.
So once again, we'll have a formation lap with these super trucks once the server rolls over to the race event. The guys also have a minute to adjust the fuel load. It's pretty much all they're able to adjust. It's a fixed setup event.
Oh, so no warm-up here somehow.
Was there a warm-up for the first one? I don't think so.
There was one.
Ah, okay.
Well,
looks
man,
like
they got 50 seconds to get out on track.
Yeah, a very brief warm-up, a 50-second get on track warm-up. Hopefully all the guys realise that and none of them have need to visit the little boys' room or anything yet, and they were hoping for a warm-up. But yeah, 30 seconds left. I think it's going to be a really exciting event. Andrew, we reckon this is going to be a bit of a mix-up for all the drivers. What do you reckon? How do you think it's going to play out?
Well, who knows? I mean, if the race wants anything to go by, then we have no idea. But I'm going to make some random prediction that Ferdinand and Oscar up front are going to get in each other's way and allow Yuri Kazlov to get through and win the race. I know it's a reach, but he's my pick for the Fantasy Driver League, so that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I would say that's not a bad guess of what might happen as well. Yeah, Matthias Machado there in the 4th place, but I think you're right, Yuri Kazlov could be maybe the most likely to cash in on anything that happens with Ferdinand and Oscar Hardwick up in the lead. The guys are out on the formation lap, getting some heat in those tyres. The tyre wear on these things is minimal. You can basically go sideways as you like. You're not going to burn those tyres out or really affect the tyre pressures or anything on them. So the guys can drive as hard and as sideways as they like, which is always good for the viewers and for us, the commentators, to see some exciting stuff.
Looks like Aki Bjorksten has missed getting to the grid on time, so he's just heading toward the end of the pit lane now. Hopefully that doesn't destroy his race too much.
Yeah, I believe on Automobilista, providing it doesn't go past the red stoplight that will be at the end of the pit lane where the pit speed limit finishes, basically, and you go back out on track. As long as he stays behind that line, he'll be able to join the field once it goes green and make his way up from the back of the track. I guess if you're going to make a mistake or have issue getting onto the track in time, then this will be the circuit to do it, given the amount of off-track moments I think we're likely to see. If Aki, did you say it was Aki that was Bjorsten?
Yes.
That was,
yes.
If Aki can manage to keep it on track, then despite his bad luck at the start, I'll be picking up a few places before the end of the race, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know that these guys are all champions, but I'm actually a bit surprised that nobody had a spin on the formation lap.
No, you know, I was thinking about something. You know what scares me the most is the fact that people jump and they have to align their cars on the grid. Like, everything can go wrong in this one.
They also have made it in one piece.
Yeah, that was one of the fastest formation laps I've seen. They're probably doing better than I could go around a better time on the formation lap than I could do under any form of race or qualifying conditions.
By the way, before we begin, Bloodout 2, thanks for the follow. Here we go.
Yeah, the guys are pretty much formed up on the track. Aki will be in the pits waiting for that green light. I think it goes green for him in the pits once all the drivers have reached the end of the first sector. There must be a driver or two who's not quite formed up, so we're still waiting for the lights. I think they're going to be coming on shortly. Yes, they are. 3, 4, 5 lights are all on, and they're off. That's who makes the best start. Ferdinand Lechner way okay. He's going to hold on to lead. He's got Oscar Hardwick on the inside, but he's going to have to follow him behind. Yuri Kasdorp is not far behind, with Matthias Machado there bringing home 4th place there. Seem to be all making it round turn 1. Oscar Hardwick trying to tuck it in close behind Ferdinand Lechner and not doing too bad a job of that. As we enter the left-hand kink, the cars get very twitchy here. It's like to see a lot of sideways action and then braking heavily, trying to get the car around the tight right-hand corner. They make it all safely through. So far, Ferdinand Lechner has managed to hold on to the lead. Oscar Hardwick pretty close in 2nd place, just 4/10 behind. Then Yuri Kazop is in 3rd. Those 2 drivers the same, I think, as they were on the starting grid, and as well as Matheus Machado in 4th place.
Aki Buxton is out of the pits now, but he finds himself 25 seconds behind the lead, so he's going to have a tough race. But I mean, 20 minutes doesn't sound like 20 minutes doesn't sound like a long race, but in these cars it really is.
Yeah. First jump, everyone seems to have made it so far.
Yeah, but the danger is on the 2nd jump. Here we go, people.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time for the guys to get the cars lined up after they drift sideways around that last corner. A bit of a mistake in that corner, and they're going to pay for it over the jump, but it looks like certainly Ferdinand made it over okay. In the background, I can see a little bit of action. I think everybody makes it. Just about, a few going over a little sideways, but yeah, the first 2 jumps, the first lap is over safely.
Ferdinand Lechner has gone into quite a 2-second lead already on Oscar, 1 second, but it's evident that these 2 guys are a bit more well versed with these cars already. Yuri trying to keep up in 3rd place, and then everyone is slightly bunched together, but don't expect door-to-door racing with these cars.
Oh, Mateus is off. Mateus spins out.
I was about to say, Machado's having a good close race. It was that race in the 4th place was really close to him, but he loses it under power. I think that was it turn 2 he lost it, or was it only just caught the spin?
Turn 3, yes.
Turn 3, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, good close battle for, I think it was 4th place, but we already know how, anybody who's been watching for any length of time, already know that my memory for positions, given the end of the 1st race, is not too good. But yeah, that was a close battle, one of the closest, Matthias now down to 13th place.
Daniel Trapp, I just noticed, he's in 8th place, just deciding on this lap to avoid the jump because he wasn't lined up for it properly and went around it instead. Oh, he's just got behind.
By the way, people, we got a fast lap.
Fast lap and there's a crash further down. Who was that? Trying to see whether is it Steve Legale who's on spinning.
Oscar Hardwick is
for the guys behind. Yeah, if it's for safety reasons, the guys are allowed to take avoiding action and miss a jump. And certainly anybody seeing Steve Legale in the landing zone there on the start of the straight will have been within their rights to avoid that jump completely. So Steve's back on his way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Oscar Hardwick spins out in turn 1, so he's dropped down to 7th place, and Yuri Kasdorp takes 2nd. So it looks like my prophecy is half coming true.
Oh well, it's the opposite of a commentator's curse, I guess.
Right behind them, we got a battle right behind them. Right behind Hampus Soderberg, we got Christian Moreau and Ryan Seltzer. We got the Merc battle. We got America. We got Canada versus the United States, people.
Indeed, yeah, Christian Moreau back on the having a look on the inside, and as they approach the 2nd last corner. They're going to be side by side pretty much over that jump there. That was a bad landing for most drivers. They keep holding him, only just holding, risking a trip toward the grass or into the wall there as they come towards the last turn, braking heavily, kick that back end out. I think that's Christian Rowe trying the Scandinavian flick there, it looked like in the background I was watching over the jump, and he's got that behind it. Charles Baccio was there side by side on that jump there as well. Yes, Charles Baccio in the blue, the 2 shades of blue car there. The Christian Moreau has dropped down to a 6th place. Charles Baccio, well, my driver, so I'm hoping, just like Andrew, that Charles does well. He's certainly improved on the qualifying position. He's up in 5th place at the moment.
Aki Bjork's really going for it. Remember, he started at the end of the pit lane, and now he's only 3 seconds behind Steve Gallet in 13th place. Yeah,
but that's a whole sector for Aki basically to catch up. He's not allowed out of that pit lane until the drivers got to the first sector. I think that's how it works in Automotive Release. So yeah, really to pick up that time. Yeah, he's some really good laps there, Aki Bjork's done. A man to watch, hopefully, as he fights his way through the field.
But the lead now is like nearly 6 seconds. I mean, Ferdinand is just in another world in this race.
I think we should call the race from not Ferdinand's perspective. Leave Ferdinand alone.
We could just pretend he's not there.
Oh, Christian nearly going off the grass, nearly going off the track completely.
Yeah, but for Christian, that's a pretty good entry into this race, because he had a few laps extra practice, and it seems to be paying off for him. He missed the first race, remember, so looking good in 6th place right now for the points. As Oscar Hardwick goes past.
You can say Oscar Hardwick trying to improve his position after that spin. When he was in 2nd place, I believe. So Oscar Hardwick goes past Christian Moreau, brings him back to 6th place. He'll be looking to try and close that gap back on Ferdinand Lechner. I mean, that's a good few places ahead of him. 16 seconds the gap between him and Ferdinand Lechner, and a good few drivers in between as well.
And Daniel Trapp's wide as well. He's just lost 2 positions, and I think he's still dropping. Yeah, he just went wide in the corner in turn 1.
The closest battle really is at 6th, I think, 6th and 7th on Christian Moreau. But further down the field is 10th place, Malachi Bacchus and Matthias Machado. They're both fighting hard to go round turn 3. Malachi and Bacchus are kicking that back end out. Oh, side by side with that little kick pretty much. Malachi really struggling to get control of that car under the braking.
And Charles Baccio is approaching now, side to side with Ryan Salter. Here we go, last turn. Charles Baccio on the inside. Ryan giving him a little bit of a fight. But will they jump?
Yeah, they jump almost at the same time. Ooh. Very hard landing. That was Charles, was it? That was Ryan Salter with a very hard landing in the and that gives Charles a bit of breathing space, a second gap between 4th and 5th now. And my driver, Charles Baccio, come on Charles, up to 4th. Well done Charles. Chase down Yuri Kazuk. You can't have Andrew getting lots of points. And Ferdinand as well. Tobias, you can't have 2 double wins for you, sir.
We probably see that. But anyway, Charles is chasing down Hampus Soderberg first, because before he can catch Yuri, he has to deal with the Finn first.
Sorry to interrupt, Malachi Bacchus has just gone off in turn 1. So he's dropping down speed when Matthias Machado into the top 10. Of course, the top 8 are the only ones who are going to get points, but every position is getting him closer to that points cap, isn't it?
Now, speaking of points, final points paying position right now being occupied by Rami Mattia. He's one of the guys that is usually more of an asset corner driver, and doing well on his own. I think it's his 2nd Automobilista event overall. But Geoffrey Tassuma, also more of an AC player, because he qualified over one of the AC qualifier events here, coming up over the last couple of laps on Rami, and we are gonna need to watch this gap for the final points playing position to see, well, if Asset Corsa has any simulation value.
Well, really quickly.
Go ahead.
Bottoms up once again. We got another follower, Jim BHD. Thank you, Jim BHD, for that follow. Bottoms up.
Thank you, Jambi, and bottoms up indeed. Yeah, just so you're going to pick up on what you were saying there about the drivers who mostly frequent the other simulators. Gosh, I should have mentioned the names of the other sims, obviously being an automobilista fan. But yeah, much respect to them really, coming to cars that I don't know if they've even got anything similar to these in any of the other sims out there. I'm certainly not aware of anything, so very a big respect to those drivers putting in some good lap times, better than I'm able to do, and I've had a go on these quite a few times.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed Yuri Kastorp has been overtaken by Hampus Soderberg. So second place has changed. Ferdinand is just off and away by his own 14 seconds ahead. But second place has just changed. Hampus Soderberg gets past Yuri Kastorp.
Geoffrey Tassenauer spun. Just watching him right now. So he's dropping back from that points paying position I was going to give him a few seconds ago. Malachi Makas makes up another place though, so he's on the charge.
Yeah, and I'm noticing something really here. Let me just interrupt you guys really quickly. Yuri Kastorp seems lap by lap. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think lap by lap he's being slowly catching up to Hampus Soderberg, and who knows, could be out. Hey, slowly catching up to you, Hampus. We can see a battle for P2 really soon.
But
Well,
Yuri
yeah,
is
Yuri
the only
Kastorp
one.
Yuri Kastorp was in second place, and I noticed he was in the 1 minute 19s until lap 6 when he made a 1 minute 24.8. So I think he probably made a mistake, but he definitely has got the pace. He could probably give second place a challenge.
Yeah, Yuri is the only one who has any sort of consistency apart from Ferdinand in this race. And after the spin, I think he's already recovered and back on Hampus Soderberg.
Sorry to interrupt you there. They won the closest part of the track, 6th and 7th place. Oscar Hardwick, Christian Moreau. That's been going on for some time. I've been watching it for a few laps. It's interesting to see the completely different driving styles between the two as they make contact on the approach to around the last car and on the approach to the jump. Oscar Hardwick, his driving style very sideways, very drifty, keeping control of the car, using the right foot, using the throttle to balance the weight and the drift of the car. Christian Moreau seems to have come off the worst in that little bit of contact as his front wheel is lifting up around that corner as they head round the very long turn 1. Yeah, that battle was raging quite a few laps. And I'd say Christian Moreau keeping things a much tidier than Oscar Hardwick through the corners. Certainly doesn't seem to be costing him any lap time. He's been able to keep up with Oscar, who was second place and vying for first in the first race of this race of champions. So yeah, keep an eye on that battle, although the gap has opened up just a little bit as it stands at the moment.
What do you think about Ferdinand Lechner? Do you think that he should be pushing at this pace? Because he is about a second and a half faster than everybody else at the moment per lap.
I think Ferdinand deserves to have a balance on his car.
But I mean, does he really need to push that hard? Is he just going to create a mistake?
Sorry to interrupt, Christian Moreau has slipped it onto a roof, so he ought to take a drink. But Christian Moreau got his takeoff completely wrong as he came onto the jump just after the start finish line. So very unlucky there for Christian Moreau. Sorry to interrupt you there, Andrew, mid-flow.
No, that's fine. And Matthias Machado is DNF. They didn't quite catch that. Maybe one of you mentioned it when I was looking at something else. Matthias Machado is out.
Geoffrey also just rolled again, so not looking great for them. Rami Mattia has made his way up to 7th place though, and Christian Moreau is still in it, so even though he had a bit of trouble there, still going strong in 8th place, still in the points.
Yeah, Andrew, you were saying when I interrupted you, saying Ferdinand Lechner pushing hard, so appears to be all the time, just a second and a half quicker. I guess with these cars, you have to drive them the way you like to drive them. They're a handful at the best of times, and I think driving them slowly is probably harder than the way you feel is the best way to drive them. So yeah, he's got his rhythm going on and he's sticking to it.
Yeah, he's in the zone perhaps. I think if he wins this race, then he's going to have a much easier time in the third race than the Bs. He won't have to push so hard if he doesn't want to in those. Perhaps that's his tactic, just to sort of get as many points as he can as early as possible, take the pressure off towards the end. But he's definitely the favourite right now, isn't he?
Well, yeah, unless he makes a mistake or unless he has problems with any back marking. And with just a little over 6 minutes left on the clock, it's certainly very comfortable out in the lead, just under 20-second lead over Hampus Soderberg in second place. Hampus, though, has got to be careful. He's got Yuri Kazdorp not far behind in third. Charles Baccio, my personal pick of this Racing Champions event, in fourth. Right.
Well, sorry to interrupt you, but just as Ferdinand Lechner was catching up the first back marker, Daniel Trapp, he decided to just spin off in front of him and let him through. So that was rather generous of him.
Indeed.
And Jeffrey Tashinoy does the same thing.
It must be the vigorous waving of the blue flag that they're receiving, and they're making sure they're getting out of the way there of the leader.
Oh, Malachi! Oh boy! Really quickly, just interrupting. Malachi and Steve Legal were battling for 9th and 8th position, 9th and 10th position. My apologies. Malachi managed to pass Steve on the last curve, but on the jump, botched the landing completely, going on the wall now, recovering his position once again.
So fourth place, Charles Baccio. He's trying to catch up with Yuri Kazdorp in third. About 1.5 seconds into. I guess he's in a bit of free space as Charles at the moment. He's got 2.5 seconds back to Ryan Seltzer and a second and a half ahead to Yuri, a little bit further up the track. Yeah, much more open racing, unlike the Mitsubishis that we had in the first event, where we pretty much had 3 groups of drivers battling out constant battles throughout the whole of the 20-minute session. There's a few fights going on, but for the most, the drivers are a little bit more spread out and often gaining places due to other people's mistakes rather than actual overtakes. What's your views on that, Tobias? How do you feel?
Well, because that's like I said earlier, it's never over until it's over in these cars. And we did see Ferdinand Lechner on his roof in qualifying, so never count out that possibility. Right now he's looking very stable, but that could all change in a matter of seconds, is correct. And then, well, they battled on for second place, Hampus, Yuri and Charles, and to some extent also Oscar and Ryan. That could also not just change in a matter of one corner. When one driver makes a mistake, it could mean a huge change in position here.
Yeah, Oscar Harder, you just mentioned there, he's been having a little bit of a battle with Ryan Seltzer. He managed to make his way up to 5th place. Oscar qualified, I believe, in second, had a spin, I think it was in lap 2, cost him dearly. He lost quite a few places down to the lower stages of the top 10. He's fought his way up to a 5th place. His gap, only 3.5 minutes left on the clock. I think he'll have to need a mistake from the top 4 drivers to gain any more positions, with 3.5 to 4 seconds between himself and Charles Baccio in 4th place.
I think we're seeing how different these vehicles are to drive. I mean, race 1, you could throw out about the Mitsubishi Lancer, and it's going to be pretty stable. But in the V's in the next race, I think we'll see again a much tighter race, because that's just the basic fundamentals of racing. If you get your apexes right, your braking is right, you can be precise. But with these, you have to just drive them completely differently. It's almost as if you have to forget everything you've learned about sim racing in order to get these around the track quickly.
Yeah, what I like about it is there's different ways to drive them. Say anybody who's watching consistently any of the drivers on track, you've got Oscar Hardwick, very flamboyant driving style with these cars, very sideways, lifting the front wheels often in the air as he's trying to get that power down without completely flipping the car over. And we've got other drivers, say Ryan Seltzer just behind, much more controlled technique through the corners. But both drivers are turning in good lap times, and that's what's enjoyable about them. There's several ways to drive them, and not necessarily one way that it is the quickest.
And now him, Soderberg is actually reaching up to lap traffic. Daniel Trapp actually putting his car off track to avoid any mistakes. Well done by Daniel. I thought something could happen over here because of the lap traffic, but good awareness by Daniel.
So Hampus Soderberg rather. Ferdinand Lechner has extended his lead now to pretty much bang on at 20 seconds between himself and Hampus Soderberg, just over a minute and 30 seconds are left on the clock. Hampus Soderberg's got to be careful though, because he's got Yuri Kasdorp, Charles Baccio, and Charles Baccio and Oscar Hardwick, all within that zone where one mistake could change that order. Ferdinand's pretty safe up front, even a mistake, and he'd have time to get back on track. But second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth for that matter, any mistakes on those drivers and position changes are very likely.
It's been a really clean race as well, though. I mean, despite the difficulty of the vehicles, the first race and the second race, we haven't seen any sort of like public lobby type stuff. It's been very clean.
Well, I guess race of champions, it should be clean, but no, these cars, all these trucks, well, I keep saying cars, they're not cars, they're trucks, they're very hard to handle, and really the demonstration we're seeing from these champions out there, and some of the drivers who've probably never driven them before the 10-minute practice session that they have, is quite exceptional.
Yeah, so if you're watching this and you want to get involved in racing and you're not already, then do check out racedepartment.com. I think you'll find that the racing is very clean and just as fun as the one you're watching now.
Amen.
Yeah, and let me take the opportunity over here to let viewers know. As always, I'm gonna give the reminders throughout race 2. Now we're 10 seconds to go on race 2, but race 3 as well. If you're liking the video, you want to follow more race department action with the clubs and leagues and everything else. Don't be shy. Give us a like on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube to keep yourself up to date with our leagues, streams, and everything. And if you think you can keep up with any of those drivers and leagues and clubs, go over to racedepartment.com. Go over our race clubs, take a look at it. Grab that premium, it's really cheap, 10 euros per year, and get yourself set up to some club racing.
You'll always find someone at the same pace as you to have a good race with.
Oh,
Yeah, people like, you can find people like Franklin Stacking, who has just donated 10 euros, who says licka licka licka.
Yeah,
very much, thank you very much. It's Ferdinand Lechner, he's on that final turn, so he's going to bring home the win there. Ferdinand Lechner, double win, he won the first event, and here he is in the second. He brings that home safely, so Ferdinand Lechner brings home first. Hampus Soderberg, he'll be looking for second, as long as he can make it round that last corner and over the jump without incident. I don't want to give him the commentator curse, but it looks like he's going to be... Ryan Seltzer, what position was Ryan in?
He's in sixth, but he hasn't lost a position. He hasn't lost a position from it. It's just a back market.
Hampus brings home second. Yuri Kasdorp will be over the line any moment. There he is in third place. Charles Baccio, my driver, in fourth. Well done, Charles. Oscar Hardwick, an early spin, but he manages to make it back to fifth place. Ryan Seltzer, then just mentioned he had a spin, and he'll be over the line shortly. Another donation. Was that Franklin? One of our regular Automobilista drivers, Franklin. Thank you very much for that donation. Oh, that was the previous one. No, Craigie. Another Automobilista. Craigie 182. And fantastic donation. Thank you very much, Craig. Craig Patterson there. Regular Automobilista driver.
We forgot. We have to chug our beers, man.
We do. We have to
chug beers.
Indeed. Where do we get to with the standings there? Anybody keep an eye? I can't follow it. I'm only talking. I can't do talking and watching a screen at the same time, guys. Can you help me out?
Yes, first place is Lechner, second was Soderberg, and Kasdorp in third, running at your podiums. Charles Baccio in fourth, Oscar Hardwick, he came in fifth. Ryan Seltzer, despite his spin on the last lap, manages to hold on to sixth. Seventh place is Rami Matila, and in eighth place, the last of the points positions, is Christian Moreau. He was in the server very early practicing, so it looks like it paid off because he managed to get himself a point. And then just out the points and down a lap is Aki Bjorkston in 9th, Steve Legale in 10th, Malachi Backus in 11th, Daniel Trapp, Jeffrey Tassenois, and Mateus Machado comes in last, the last two drivers with a DNF.
Just a quick mention to Aki, he didn't manage to get out on tracking times. He had to start from the pit lane a full third of the lap behind the other drivers. So a 9th place finish for him is not too bad at all, given his unfortunate start.
Not at all.
So race 2 is over. We'll be hoping to grab a few of the drivers in a moment to join us on the a bit of an interview. But we're going to have a quick interlude now whilst we prepare for race 3. Hopefully catch you again in a few moments' time.
See you.
Floating in your universe, baby. Orbit look into those eyes, I might as well be lost in space. I might as well be lost in space. Floating in your universe, baby. Orbiting around you got me hypnotized. Feeling so skinny, you to save me. Feel like you're my savior and my demise. You're like poison in my veins, and it's driving me insane. When I look into those eyes, I might as well be lost in space. I might as well be lost in space.
And welcome back to the Race of Champions stream from Race Department. Thank you for sticking with us, viewers, for a few moments whilst we were changing servers. We've got one of the drivers here from that super truck event that we just had, Ryan Seltzer's with us. How did it pan out for you? I believe you finished 6th, so how did that race pan out for you? An interesting event compared to race 1, where it was much closer.
Yeah, well, they're very different cars, or trucks, should I say. They're definitely a handful. You go flying around, the things slide like crazy, and just staying on track is a feat in itself, I think.
Yeah, there's something we were noticing of. It was almost, I think, a race of attrition. Those drivers that could keep it safely round the track and consistently on the black stuff, while getting good times and not losing the positions. There wasn't a huge amount of actual overtakes. It was more a case of picking up positions when other drivers have made mistakes. Where did you qualify, Ryan? What was your qualifying position?
I think qualifying was about 6. To be honest, I was 6th or 7th. It was right around there.
So you held ground. So yeah, not bad at all. And did you have any particular heavy moments yourself where you're side by side next to any of the other drivers on track, or was it a fairly steady race that you in 6th place?
Well, it was a side by side off 2 or 3 jumps that made me nervous, but they all worked out okay somehow.
Right. Well, we're heading over to the Formula V. I don't want to delay you from that practice session too much. How do you think it's going to pan out for the Formula V just before we let you go?
Somewhere in between the trucks and the Lancer. These like to slide. They're a lot of fun, but if you get tapped while the thing's sliding, they can get a little twitchy. But they're enjoyable drivers' cars and should be fun, and I think you'll see more overtaking here.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you very much for Ryan. I'm going to let you go back to the practice session. Thank you very much. Appreciate that you joined us there for the interview. All the other drivers were very keen to get straight out on track and put in the practice for the Formula V, which is the next event that we're going to be seeing. So thank you, Ryan. Much appreciated.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Which one of you guys is taking over for the Formula V? Is it Andrew or Tobias? I can't remember who you said it might be.
I think it's going to be me.
Yes.
And it's confirmed. So yes, the Formula V's at Suzuka, or as it's called in game, Kansai, and actually it's going to be a very different race again, which is obviously the purpose of the Race of Champions, to put them all in these different kinds of challenges. This is the longest track out of tonight's selection. It's just under 3 kilometers longer than any of the other tracks that we've used. So they'll have to really be concentrating for a lot longer during the laps. And we might see some gaps break up, but they're quite even, these cars. So I can imagine maybe if we have the previous races to go by, then Ferdinand Lechner might just drive off and leave everybody else behind. But I think they're going to be quite close behind. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I did. Go on, the way that you have a go. I've talked too much already.
Oh, we can get enough of you talking, man. You always a good talk. These cars, they're the mixed bag of a beginner's car, a beginner's open wheeler car. So they're challenging. They're not fast. That's one thing I have to say though. There are people on Twitch talking about 3-minute laps. Yeah, they're around 3 minutes. Like the fastest lap on time trials over here is around 2 minutes and a half, 2 minutes and 30. So there's a high likelihood of we're gonna have, from 20-minute races, we're gonna have about 8-9 laps total. But once you get the grip of these cars, they're very good handling cars. They are a lot of fun. Like, I think a lot of AMS cars, they are probably one of the best cars you can ever drive, because you actually feel them. You can feel every bit of the car and how caring you have to be with them. Otherwise, you're taking a trip to the wall or to the grass, and that could be damaging to your entire race. So I think drivers here, more than anything, had to be gentle with their cars, but try to make sure they're doing their best, trying to push them to the very limit. Because one thing is certain here: if Ferdinand gets a good position, no matter what, he takes the Race of Champions all for himself. Basically, he got one hand in the trophy. A good result here is basically the title for him.
Yeah, the only ones who can still catch up are Hampus, Oscar, and Yuri, and it would need like Ferdinand finishing out of the points, or out of the top 6 actually, for that to happen. So it's very hard for anyone to catch him right now, but you never know with these cars. Still, they're not the easiest to drive.
Oh, by the way, track as well. Go ahead.
I was reading the chat here as well, and it came into my mind for a second brief time, if this was racing, we would have chugged an entire bottle because the leader of the session was Steve Legal.
Indeed. Yes, that was one of the conditions of our drinking game.
Yes, if anybody from
Yeah,
Guernsey
and
led.
you mentioned the drinking game, so you have to drink.
Oh no, it's all going wrong. It's all going wrong.
So in this race, well, we had Jim talking a lot. You had me fumbling up words and talking a lot. Like I normally do. Basically 99.9% of the time. I got 99 problems. But a racing one. Now, the one who's going to be bringing you the action is the Darian loving Andrew James. Take it away.
You clearly don't know me very well. but thank you anyway. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's a very technical track as well compared to the others. I mean, the S-curves, for example, you've got to get those right. And if you get one of those wrong, you're going to lose so much speed all the way up through until you get to Degner. So you have to be on it. And I think now, don't forget, this is the third race. They've already been racing for, I mean, was it 2 hours now, including the practice sessions? There might be some people getting tired out there. There might be some more mistakes creeping in. And also, we just see people who maybe these vehicles suit their style a bit better, and they might have some surprise positions. So, are you guys going to still stick with your picks for the fantasy league, or what about you, Jim?
Well,
yeah, I'm sticking with mine.
You're sticking with yours. Well, who did you choose? I got with mine.
I think yours was.
I know mine was John.
Yeah, I picked Mateus Machado.
Mateus Machado. Yeah, unlucky. I don't think he finished. I think it was a DNF.
Yeah, I got unlucky. I got unlucky in the last race.
But I'm going to
It's the
stick
commentator's
Charles.
By the way,
Indeed.
Jim, before we go ahead, how many viewers are viewing this race? I just got a question from Twitch.
I saw that question. Yeah, Craigie 182.
Quaggy.
Patterson, Quaggy. Indeed. We currently have, yes, can you believe it, 240 million viewers. That's one of the highest viewer counts I've ever seen on Twitch for a race of ours. So thank you
And that
very
means
much.
one thing. Here we go.
We've got to have a sip of our drinks. I'll try not to do it too noisily.
And let's not forget our YouTube audience. That's another 723
Oh yeah,
million
most
people.
definitely.
Excellent. excellent
Wait,
stuff.
now I'm wondering, two things. Number one, we have to drink again because we got another donation. Franklin Staggy just donated €5.
He did just, I think it was just before we went to the break between the Super Truck and the Formula V, where we're in the qualifying session at the moment.
Did we drink that one?
I don't know. I think we're going to have another sip. Was it a
That's
sip
just
of
a drink, yeah.
donation? Just a drink. But yeah, 8
But nevertheless,
minutes left on qualifying.
We have around 31 people, or 31 million people on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have 31 million people on YouTube right now. That's like the
Yeah,
whole of
boy.
YouTube.
The whole of YouTube.
And really quickly, plus viewers, really good that one. We are one from 1,420. So one more, and I'll drink the entire beer bottle. I promise this. Like, follow us, and I'll get this bottle choked down. There's half a bottle. I'm paying this.
I was about to say,
I'll save this.
I think the disclaimer has to be that he'll probably drink it anyway, but we just really appreciate the extra follower.
Well, we
So
said
let's
it was a
talk-
10. Sorry, Andrew. It's a
And
10-minute
here I
quali
go.
session, and we should be getting the first few lap times coming up in the not too distant future. 3 minutes, or is it 3 minutes? 2.5 minutes, give or take. Laps
Yeah,
around
so
here.
Ferdinand is in the S's, and right now looking pretty tidy. Just about to come up on the Degner curves, which are quite tricky in these cars. You can slide it a little bit, and on the exit be careful not to get too much wheel spin, take a lot of curb. That's kind of the trick for those.
They've got to be careful not to invalidate any laps on here. What are the lap violation rules, Andrew, on Automobilista and also this track as well?
I can put me on the spot here, but I believe that you get 3 strikes and then you get a you need to keep, I think it's at least 2 wheels. The official race department rules are that you should keep 2 wheels within the white lines at all times. And we just heard that we got another donation. So Jim, you want to see what that is?
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
got
trying
another
to
follower.
see who that is. We certainly got another follower of David can let me know who the donator is. Oh yeah, just come up the screen. Quicksilver384 is our latest follower. Thank you very much, Quicksilver. One of our admins, regular helping out with Automobilista. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Ginger Ale.
And Jay Anguita was the follower. Much appreciated. What is our follower count? 1,400 and something, 451. You never know, guys. We might make our 1,500 target. By then, we will all be very, very good.
And thank you. All your donations help to pay for all of the staff members' villas in Bermuda and other such tropical islands.
Don't forget my beer bills.
I think we just heard another donation's come through. We're just waiting for that to appear on the screen, and we'll also give that person. Oh, it's not donation wars, is it? Yes, Quicksilver 384, a second donation. Drink, he says. Well, guys, it's another donation. He might be doing it in €1 increments, but we have to drink anyway.
I think that's why they're doing it, really. Thanks,
and
John.
it's a quick one, 237. Jeez, that's really, really fast.
The difference between this vehicle as well and the previous one is just to get back on track racing. Is that unlike the other vehicles we've used, these are used in real life 8-shifters. So I wonder if there's anybody in the race who's actually going to use their 8-shifter. I'd be really interested to see that, if they're going to race it with that different technique, or whether they're just going to stick with the submersion paddle.
Guys, they're going to kill us, really.
They are. Franklin Stegging, thank you very much. I think that's your third, if not possibly more, donations of the evening. Thank you very much, Franklin. Drink up, boys, another drink.
If you stop hearing from us, it's probably going to be Lorenzo, and we probably just passed out from what happened.
Yeah, like Andrew was saying, because they do use 8-shifter, and you also need to play a lot with the throttle, especially when you want to shift to the second gear, because the car has a tendency to, jump away from you if you don't flip the throttle enough and trail and heel toe your way around the corner. It's quite tricky actually, and just Ferdinand and Oscar, and to some extent also Yuri, they're really going extremely quickly right now and using all the sort of techniques that you would expect from like a, I don't know, professional driver.
Professional?
Yeah.
We won't hear it, not tonight.
Yeah, I guess something the drivers have to be very careful. 2.5 minute lap time. They haven't got many chances of getting that perfect lap that after, which is why they were all so keen to go out and get practicing as quickly as possible. And whilst we've been doing that discussion on what we're here for, we're racing, I think we've had another 2 donations, possibly 1 or 2, I'm not sure, but we're going to treat it as 2 from Quicksilver again. Thank you very much. So Franklin's taking
John.
So we're down 3 drinks, boys. So sip up 3 times.
We're going to run out of beer at this rate.
Indeed, we'll all be taking it to our fridges to top up. And I think, yes, Craigie 182. Thank you very much, Craig Patterson.
I'm gonna have to be very honest. I think I'm gonna drink this beer number 5 very quickly. By the way, this is going. Keep us on liking on Twitch or donate us. We'll keep drinking it down. I'll keep drinking it down at least.
And this is like alcohol prostitution right now going on. These guys.
As you can tell, we've been commentating for quite a while tonight. I think things are starting to fall apart. But it's all your fault for all your donations, so what can I say?
Yeah, that's blame the viewers. I think that's the standard
exactly.
tactic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all Craig's fault and Franklin's fault.
Craig opened the box of Pandora.
But we've got just over 2 minutes left in qualifying. We're trying to keep it together. I think we're just about holding on to it, but there's still 20 minutes of racing to go once the qualifying's finished. And we've got Ferdinand Lechner in the lead, a really nice lap. He's got a second lead over Oscar Hardwick. So we'll be interested to see how this pans out between those 2 drivers they've been having. Certainly a very healthy battle in the first race. Oscar qualified in second, Ferdinand first in the Super Trucks, but he spun early on. And once again, they're first and second in this, the final race of the Race of Champions here at Race Department.
And Ferdinand Lechner is in the pit, so he's done his laps. He's done 4 laps. Of course, I think one of them would have been out lap, one of them would have been in lap. So he's done 2 time laps, and he's happy with that time. And why not? He's 6/10 up. Oscar Hardwick, he's still out, so there's still a chance that could change. But I mean, as we see from the first race, it doesn't really matter if you finish on pole or if you're second, because we saw the leads change so many times in that race, and it's probably going to be the same again here.
DJ Oscar Hardwick, he finished, he was a second back, he's now only 6/10 back, and he's still out on a lap where he has an opportunity to improve that position. So we'll have to keep an eye on Oscar. He's coming to, I think it's the end of the first sector, so 2/3 of that lap still to go. But this lap will count for him. He won't get to another one.
More donation, people.
Another donation, Franklin. Franklin comes in with €5. Thank you very much, Franklin. And with that note, I'm going to have to take a trip to the fridge, guys, because I am out of beer.
So Oscar Hardwick is on
James,
his...
take it away.
Yeah, Oscar Hardwick is on his hot lap, but he's 6/10 down after the first sector, so he aborted that lap. So I think it's pretty safe to say that Ferdinand Leclerc is on pole, and Oscar Hardwick is in second, and Yuri Kasdorp is in third. The only person
It's not that safe.
really
because
change.
Hampus is good.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the
Hampus
only
is
person
putting
who
a
can
good
really
lap.
change it is Hampus Soderberg. But I mean, even his first sector was down a little bit, but yeah, we'll see how he does through this final sector now.
But this is 130R, this is essential. Looks pretty tidy so far. Not out of shape, and now coming up to the chicane. That's really tricky for the Formula B. A bit untidy there. But it takes a lot of curb, but all clean. A good exit. And we just need to see the lap time, and he's pretty close to Yuri, so it might be a change for third place now.
And here we go, here we go. No.
Yes, it
It
is.
will.
Third place.
Hampus Soderberg with the third place tick in.
Very good.
Yuri letting me down. I mean, no, sorry. Yuri.
What?
I mean, Hampus putting in a really good lap. No, Yuri was, of course, my driver pick of the day, so of course I moved with him. But that was a fantastic lap from Soderberg, really. 2/10 faster than Kasdorp. And 5/10 off Oscar Hardwick. It's going to be pretty close to the final.
Yes, and just to let you guys know, our top 10 is going to be Ferdinand Leclerc number 1, as usual. Oscar Hardwick number 2, as usual. Hampus Soderberg number 3, as usual. Not as usual. I'm just joking. I'm not gonna be this mean by this time of the year and this time of the race. The races. Charles Yuri Kasdorp number 4, Charles Baccio number 5, Ryan Seltzer number 6, Mateus Machado number 7, Christian Moreau number 8, Daniel Trapp number 9, Steve Legal, or you guys grab me
Hang on,
after.
Lorenzo.
I think.
Improvement might be coming from Joffrey. Let's see here.
Oh, here we go.
And he comes
Oh,
ninth.
that's a good time. 9th place
He
for
comes
Jeffrey.
9th place, therefore 9th place for Jeffrey Tessenwatt. Daniel Traps go to 10th. Steve Legale go to 11th. Remy Matilla 12th. Eki Bjorsten goes to 13th. And rounding out our field is going to be Malachi Bacchus 14th. By the way, my name's Lorenzo Bonder. I'm one of the drinkers. I'm having fun. Tobias Reuner is with me. Jim Knobs
Hello,
went to
Lorenzo.
grab a beer.
I'm back.
Or
I'm here.
a whiskey. Hey, there we go. And
thought
we
you got
have
lost.
still Andrew James and Davey Van de Ven also drinking with us and having fun.
Yes.
And we got another donation from Zitoyak. Jesse, thank you a lot. That means I'll just keep drinking.
Yeah, you guys are gonna kill Lorenzo tonight, so keep doing
Keep
what
it
you're
up.
doing.
We've got, since I haven't mentioned the view count, that is of course for another
Go
drink.
ahead.
Viewer count is we're up to 258 million people over on Twitch as we enter the warm-up session. I'm pretty sure it's a
And we
quick
got
warm-up.
34 on YouTube.
34 on YouTube. So my God,
Million,
my math
that
isn't
is.
good enough. We're not quite up to the 300 million in total, but we're not far off at all. As we've got the drivers' standings as the server's in warm-up mode, and we're waiting to go over to the 20-minute race. So the drivers' standings overall with 2 events down on this race of champions. We've got Ferdinand Lechner on 20 points, out in the lead representing Germany. And then we have Hampus Soderberg on 13 points. So Ferdinand got a very healthy lead there. Unless he has an incredibly bad finish here, I think he's going to be coming home with a win. But I don't want to give him commentator curse, and certainly with these Formula Vs, a little tap or anything like that. If any contact happens with these, they don't stick to the track quite as well as the Mitsubishi has on earlier. Oscar Hardwick brings home third. Who had Oscar as their driver out of the commentators? Who chose Oscar?
It was Dave, wasn't it, Davey?
It was Dave.
Might have been Davey. Davey, our cameraman, he's doing a sterling job in the background. You can't hear the tweet. Yeah, Davey's doing a great job in the background. He chose Oscar Hardwick, and he's in third place at the moment. Andrew, do you want to take over?
Yes, actually, I think this is a really good time to just mention that, because this is, I think it's going to be the last broadcast race of Race Department in 2016. So I have to say Happy New Year to everybody watching, and also I want to throw out a huge thank you to everybody at Race Department who worked tirelessly this year to bring you all the leagues that brought you all these champions and all of the club events. If you were one of those people helping out, then a huge thank you from everyone.
And we got another donation, Thomas Beha. Thank you a lot, man. I just drank the beer. Drink it up, people. Let's keep drinking it up.
I think we're not going to be able to get a word out in the race because we'll be having bottles in our mouth.
Talking
This is going to be one of those things where we're going to listen to this back tomorrow and we're going to be so embarrassed.
Well, you might be. I'm just not going to watch it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be like, Mom, what have I done?
Talking, you mentioned there 2016 and the different leagues that have gone. 2017, I've got to say the ones that I'm aware of, and there's going to be plenty that I'm not aware of. But we've got on Dirt Rally, got a fantastic rally league coming up. I think starting in early January. I haven't signed up myself, but I'm about to. And that
I did, and I did some videos.
Indeed. Yeah,
it's incredible. We have about 150 drivers already signed up for that, and it's looking to be fantastic.
And it's looking to be just great. We got it. So explaining the rally championship is open to all. If you're not a premium member, you can sign up, have fun, try to, be the champion. What's going to happen is divided into 4 categories, which is 2 categories for 4-wheel drive and 2 for 2-wheel drive, and it's on plus and minus. Jesus Christ! And there's different cars and categories in year eras. So if you think you can keep up, my apologies. If you think you can keep up, if you have fun either one of the cars, sign up on racedepartment.com, put your racing name, just go over sign up thread and sign up, and good luck. You never know what's going to happen.
So the formation lap is underway for this, the third and final race of the Race Department Race of Champions. It's been a great night, lots of beer. If you want something a bit more serious, then you don't have to wait very long. You can tune in on Friday the 6th of January. Practice starts at 1900 GMT for the next round of the Race Department mini challenge. It's going to be round 3 at Brands Hatch Indy, and if race 1 of these 2, anything to go right, it's going to be really close, really exciting, so don't miss that. That's next Friday. Now though, let's focus on this 20-minute race here at Suzuka Kansai, as it's cheekily known in automobilist, the local place for it.
Yeah, they want the formation lap, aren't they? Going to be a lengthy formation lap, plenty of time to get fuel, get warmth into their tyres. I wonder if they might be doing a little bit of fuel saving as well. These light, low, zero damp cars have got no wings on them. I guess fuel might be more important than on the other vehicles. They've got a couple of donations coming in. Sure Divan something or other. Such a long username, I can't see that very much for the donation. I think there's another one. Yeah, Zetoyak. Thank you very much, Zetoyak. A little bit shorter, a little bit easier for us here. Thank you very much, both of you guys, for those donations. 2 sips of your beverage, your chosen beverage, gentlemen.
See, we couldn't have pronounced that name 2 hours ago. We got no chance now. So whoever did that, thanks very much.
But the easiest name ever. Oh boy. Oh man. We are having fun, aren't we?
Some of us are having a little bit too
more fun. Yeah, more fun.
Yes.
Way too much fun.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how these cars get off the line, because it can be really crucial. Especially because slipstreaming these cars is such a big deal. So I'm really looking forward to seeing who can get off the line quickly and get into turn 1, which is a really fast turn. And you know that these cars are a handful in the turns as well. So I'm really interested to see how they get off the line. It could decide the race before we even get to turn 1.
Yeah, my opinion, to be quite honest, I think it's not going to be quite turn 1. I think turn 1 is not going to be a deciding factor in this race. I think it's going to be after turn 1. I think maybe the S's, the Suzuka S's, and then Dunlop might be a deciding factor. But the first lap overall, and I mean first lap overall, I think Craig Patterson is trying to beat you, Jim. But back to the matter, they have to stay focused in every single lap, even though these cars are not punchy. They have to stay focused every single time because the snappy overs here can get them off guard at any time. And if you're caught off guard, that could be very damaging to you.
Yeah, it's really easy to overdrive them, isn't it?
Yeah,
if you get
is.
Just
Just a few words, guys. We seem to have lost Aki Bjorks and Christian Moreau. Warm-up lap somewhere. Their games seem to have some issues. So unfortunately, two guys out of the race already before they were started. But the rest of the 12 drivers are being in good form. And we are carrying off.
That's a good start from the second place. Oscar Hardwick, he's already challenging, in fact, first place. He's going to have the inside of turn 1. And Ferdinand not getting the start that he wanted, but he's just going to cut ahead in front of Oscar anyway.
And Hampus Hugenberg seems to have dropped as well after the start. That is so unfortunate. Another driver off the race already, and this one was in with a shot at the overall win.
Yeah, see, in terms of shots, he's probably the only driver that actually can realistically challenge Ferdinand Lechner's championship.
I don't know what's happened to Hampus Soderberg, who was competing high on the rankings on the first race. He's happening in the DNF now down in front of the DNF. As is actually managed to make it. Was Hampus one of the ones that did manage to make it as well? Is that where we got the DNF from?
He just disappeared right after the start. It's very weird stuff going on there.
Yes.
Unfortunate. Maybe some technical difficulties for Hampus, but yeah, over to you, Andrew.
Yeah, we've got a good battle for fourth place going on as you go through Degner. Ryan Seltz right on the back of Charles Baccio. Sorry, I'm going to mess your name up all this race, but it's your fault for being near the lead, I guess. But that's a really good battle. And Oscar Hardwick going for a little look on the inside of Ferdinand Lechner in the hairpin. Not quite close enough, but he's really giving Ferdinand a run for his money here as we go down now towards Spoon Curve.
Lower down the field, Andrew, we had Ryan Thompson having a really good look on the hairpin with Charles Baccio. Charles Baccio just holds on to it as a seat round the long right-hander, holds on to fourth place with Charles Baccio. Ryan Seltzer remaining back in fifth.
And by the way, we got another donation. You guys are gonna love this user. I'm drunk because of this drinking. Thank you for your donation, and that means we're gonna drink it up and keep commentating.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oscar Hardwick has a run on Ferdinand Lechner. He got into that slipstream that we were talking about at the beginning of the race. They are side by side. Is he going to go through the next corner? Oh, you do not want to be on the outside here. But he turns in.
Oi!
Can he keep it on the track? He can. And that's a brilliant way to take first position. What an overtake. Absolutely stunning.
Man, that is a courageous overtake.
Yeah, Ferdinand has his work cut out for him now, but these cars, they have a lot of slipstream, like they punch a huge hole in the air, surprisingly, and Ferdinand might have a run on him on the start-finish straight.
Well, if this happens every lap where the lead changes twice, it's going to be a brilliant race, and Lorenzo will pass out from all the drinking, so I hope they keep it up.
Indeed, he will. Further down the field, Ryan Seltzer and Charles Baccio are side by side once again as they enter into the first corner. Ryan Seltzer holds on to, I think it was fourth place who he's on already. He's got a big twitch and slide though. I think he's holding on to it. Yes, he does. Only just keep control of that Formula V as they exit the second corner.
That overtake from Hardwick, that alone makes this whole night of racing worth watching. That was absolutely stunning. And it looks like there's going to be plenty more of it as Ferdinand Lechner regained the lead as he went down the start finish straight into turn 1. And Hardwick's not giving up. He wants that first place. He knows how important it is. We know that Lechner doesn't have to even finish in first place. He could finish, I think, as low down as 6th, and he could still be the champion of champions. So it's still nice to see him battling up the front, but we know Hardwick has to really get the lead if he wants any chance. As long as he does the work that he can do, and then at least he can say he did his best. Whatever else happens to the other drivers in the race.
Yeah,
And they're
Oscar
side
is
by
in it
side
for the-
again.
Yeah, and Oscar, he's saying I'm in it for like guts and glory. I don't care anymore about championship. I care about winning.
Just the bragging
He is
rights.
trying.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to end tonight's race, tonight's evening of racing. Because, well, we started with a race this close, and we're ending with a race this close. What more could you want?
And the
He's
good
going
thing
for a
is
move.
the action.
He's on the inside. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry,
He had to back out, so go
going
ahead.
really quickly. The action is actually throughout the whole field.
It is.
Leaders
There's
nearly make
several
contact
groups
too.
of drivers here, but as you say, Andrew, the leaders are almost making contact as they enter the, I guess you'd call this the back straight, I guess. Oscar Hardwick trying to tuck himself into the slipstream of Ferdinand Lechner. This comfortable, they're approaching the corner where they were side by side on the previous lap, just 2.5
He's going to
minutes
try
earlier.
on the inside this time.
Does indeed, side by side, he got a real good run with the slipstream. Oscar manages to scrape through Ferdinand Lechner, tucks it in behind, so Oscar has got the position, but Ferdinand Lechner's not giving up yet. A little cheeky look on the inside, making sure Oscar knows that he's still there in his mirrors close behind as they make it through the SPF and start their way onto the start from straight once more.
Yeah, he had a bit of a slip coming out there on the last turn, and I think Ferdinand Lechner is going to be all over the back of him again. One thing we've seen is that Hardwick is not afraid to make moves at some of the fastest corners. Oh, and I think they just touched
the bump
nose
trap.
to tail. He's not moving for the overtake. He's deciding
I
to
think
stay.
Ferdinand is playing strategy game here. I think his
Yeah.
plan is to make that move on the second to last straight and then be in front when they enter the last straight. So I think we might have to look out for this, especially in the last lap.
It kind of
Ferdinand,
reminds-
He has a good idea of what to do here.
Yeah, it kind of, and of course, if he doesn't make the move and he finishes in second, that's still good enough for the championship. So, you know, it's very good strategy from him. And this race kind of reminds me of Moto 3, where it's so close and you never know who's going to win. And you get the slipstream coming out of the final corner and you're probably going to win. And that's what maybe Lechner's thinking of. Just stay behind, stay close, and then make his move later on in the race, catch Hardwick off guard.
Could be, but we have to be aware, well they have to be aware, I'm sure they are, that Yuri Kasdorp, he's in third place. It's a 2-second gap between the two, between second place Ferdinand Lechner and Yuri Kasdorp. And if those leaders keep on fighting, that's only going to allow Yuri to close up. So it could have been the bump draft, it could have been the tactics hoping for the overtake on the longer back straight, or maybe he was just trying to keep that top speed high so that Yuri Kasdorp can't close up too much.
Yeah, that slipstream's making such a big difference.
One thing
Go ahead,
about Yuri is he's tied with Oscar Hardwick right now for third place, and if he can manage to catch up with Oscar and Ferdinand lead or capitalize on his take there, he might be able to snatch second place away, or even he might even win this season.
Yeah. I was thinking actually not maybe catching up to them, but at least staying within contact of them, because I'm thinking the same. I'm thinking something. And Franklin actually mentioned up Franklin won 1972. I think that's Franklin Sagging mentioned very well in the Twitch chat. Is that I think he's playing the cool game. I think even though he's not as fast as Oscar and Ferdinand, and they're side to side. Sorry,
Lechner's
and
making a
Ferdinand
move.
takes the lead once again.
I have to wonder whether Hardwick backed out on purpose there, because he looked very slow coming out of Spoon Curve. It might have just been that he sort of had to get off the throttle, he missed a shift, but Lechner looked a lot faster.
Which is going
Yeah, now he's going on Casio. That's ballsy.
Oh, chicane!
On the outside of the chicane, that's brave. But he manages to hold it in the limits. He's not going to have a good run on the straight though, but Lechner's going to be so much faster going down the straight. Now we'll know for sure whether he's playing the strategy game, because there's no way he can't get past if he wants to. He's now side by side already. And the other great battle we've got to keep an eye on is Charles Butcher and Brian Seltzer. They're just behind, and they're basically just repeating what they're seeing in the lead.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
and,
right.
and right
Andrew,
behind
yeah.
them there is Jeffrey Tassenway and Mateus Machado.
Yeah, fourth and
And
fifth place,
Steve
Charles
Fugger.
Batcher and Ryan Seltzer. They've swapped places. I was just going to attempt to interrupt you, but that battle for first place,
they
once again, I can see they're side by side. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, the leaders, they touched as they entered into the S's. I probably would have lost the car at that point, but these guys, they're in this race for a reason. They are champions and winners of special events, and that's nothing for them, is it? But this is such a close battle. I mean, I don't want it to end. It's been such a great night, and unfortunately is going to have to end in about, just under 12 minutes. But, well, how can you want any more than this? It's absolutely fantastic close racing all the way down the field, and at the front is where you want to see it the most. And we have to give kudos to Hardwick and Lechner for delivering tonight.
I mean, those two might be the best drivers in AMS right now. Like, those guys know the game inside out. They know exactly how to drive here, and just seeing them battle it out like this, it just proves how good they actually are.
Oh, indeed, and you've got to have confidence in the drivers you're racing with to be this close with these Formula Vs. They're not stable if you get contact. They're not stable even without the contact. That back end is wanting to twitch and be lively underneath you. So yeah, you've got to really completely trust the guy that's next to you to give you the space that you need to be respectful for the track space that you need. And that's really what we're seeing with these champion drivers out on track tonight.
Yuri Kastorp only 2.5 seconds off from the leading pack. He is setting times in the 2-minute 38s and low 2-minute 39s, whereas the leaders are also setting those times. But that's with battling each other. That just shows how much faster these guys are, that they can put in lap times that match people who are just, at the moment, Kastorp is just basically on his own. He's hot lapping and putting in really good times, and yet the leaders are putting in times equal to and sometimes slightly better than. This is amazing stuff.
They are wheel to wheel into 140R again, and Feldstein takes over the lead again. Now just wait for Oscar making a move into the chicane. It's like every lap is so crazy with these two guys.
This is going to go down to the last lap, isn't it? It's going to go down to the last corner, the last straight.
This is more of a tactical game than like an actual test of skill. Like it is an immense test of skill, but it's more like a sparring match between those two. Like.
And really quickly, what amazes me more is they're running on a fixed setup. They didn't even add anything. Ferdinand Lechner takes the lead once again, but they're running on fixed setups. This is outstanding driving.
And these vehicles, these cars, really, you can see the skill, because you have to be so precise and so accurate in order to get fast lap times with these. And they're doing it lap after lap, and they're doing it side by side, going through fast turns. Wow, I don't know, it's speechless.
Oh, by the way,
I could never dream of matching these sort of lap times.
Yeah, me neither. And by the way, drink it up, people. Ryan Magnus, thank you, staff members, for following us on Twitch. Ryan Magnus, I'll give you a thumbs up and one down through the throat.
And I just want to mention right now for Geoffrey Tassonois, who's DNF'd the past two races. He's up in 6th place, and he's starting to get a handle on this car. And he's ahead of Mateus Machado. So Geoff is starting to show that he's an actual really good driver. And adapting to this car really well. I was thinking again, this is a car that Geoff might enjoy. He's like one of the guys in the AC club who's extremely quick in cars that are hard to drive. And it goes to show here, like, he's in 6th place, doing really well for himself.
Yeah, we've got a couple of battles going on. Obviously, the leaders here fighting nail for first place. 13 minutes, give or take, gone of this race, and only 2/10 are separating Oscar Hardwick and Ferdinand Lechner. Ferdinand currently in the lead. Yuri Kastorp waiting to pounce on any mistakes that those guys make in 3rd place. And then we have the second battle. Ryan Seltzer, Charles Baccio, again, just 2/10 separating those drivers. And then a little bit further back, we have this 3rd race between Jeffrey Tassonois and Mateus Machado.
There's definitely some tactics going on at the lead. Hardwick's going to take the lead. They're going to touch front wheel to back wheel, but they're both fine. And Hardwick is through again, making such a ballsy move on the outside of really, really fast turn on this track. I mean, you have to be brave to go on the outside there. And I was noticing earlier in the lap, he was playing the strategy game as well. There seems to be just maybe 2 points around this track that they want to be overtaking, and that is obviously into that fast, is it 140R is called, and I think also into turn 1 and 2 they're going for it. But the rest of the time, even when they look like they have an opportunity, they're sort of holding back and just waiting. There's definitely strategy going on here from both drivers. Lechner retakes the lead again, going into turn 1, just as we thought would happen. And I would be, oh wow, he's gone wide, and Hardwick is straight back through. That could be a little different as we go around the lap again.
That's it. It's
And
almost
one thing, if it keeps going like this, I'm probably gonna run out of beers. Number one, and number two, I got an update from Christian Moreau and Hippocytobro, but keep going. I'll update later.
I was just going to say, as soon as you give the commentator's curse up, they're being tactical, they're overtaking in specific places where they can maximise the chances of retaining the lead. And the first thing that happens, Andrew, is that they overtake into turn 1 and then retake the lead into turn 2. It's guaranteed to prove you wrong, I'm sure.
Of course, that's the only reason they did it. It's
Yeah,
karma, isn't it?
Whilst driving at incredible speeds around the track, they're also watching Twitch these champion drivers.
Yeah, they're probably doing a lot of other housework at the same time. I mean, they make it look effortless. See, right here, for example, Lechner, right on the back of Hardwick, but just holding off. He didn't go for a move when he clearly could have. He had the extra speed, but he just held off. He's waiting for certain parts of the track to get a good run, because he knows if he overtakes that hairpin, for example, he's probably going to lose the lead before they get to the chicane at the end of the sector.
Those guys are like testing the waters. Where are places where I can make that move stick, and where are places where I can defend, and this is gonna go on until the last lap, and then it's really gonna unfold. Up until now, it's just those guys waiting to actually pounce.
Yeah, do they have a move up their sleeve? Is there a corner that they're just seeing whether they can make a move and just pull out a surprise on the last lap? And even then, there's still going to be, another sector left or something, and it's still not going to be certain what's going to happen. As Lechner again goes around the outside of Hardwick, they turn in. Oh, they so nearly touch. I mean, so brave. And we have another lead change. I mean, if you had any drink left, it's going to be gone by the end of this race. Hardwick diving up the inside into the chicane. He gets first place. He manages to hold on to it. But again, he compromises the speed coming out of the chicane, which means that Lechner has got all of the speed he needs to get first place back by the time they get through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're side by side over that start-finish line. Ferdinand Lechner. He's going to be on the outside if he's got momentum to get past Oscar. Going to be side by side when he turns in. Oh my God! A little bit. I'm surprised that there wasn't any loss of control. To be honest, with that little bit of contact there between the rear wheel of one driver and the front of the other. But these drivers keeping control, keeping the racing as clean as they possibly can. Given that we are now 17 minutes or just under 17 minutes into this 20-minute race, still only 2 tenths separating the leaders. Several battles going on throughout the field, but certainly this battle for the lead being one of the closest and most exciting we've seen all evening.
There's only a few minutes left. This could end up in tears. Or, who knows, they might just, they've been so clean despite, they've touched a few times, but nothing really to throw each other off. It's been really clean racing, really, really admirable.
Yeah, and I'm like this race ending is becoming utterly epic. Like, both drivers have been going at it for the entire race, and either this ends in tragedy with both drivers going each way on the wall, or they drive in FNF. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say Hardwick tried to make a move on the outside of the hairpin. That was a move that we haven't seen in this race from him. But he was obviously trying to pull it out, surprise Lechner. Maybe he's putting his cards out on the table just a few minutes too early because he wasn't able to pull the move off. And now Lechner will know to look for it next time round.
Oh, yeah, by the way, we got another donation.
Drink up, boys.
Drink up, indeed.
Yeah, do it now because this is going to be a call to the finish.
Indeed, yes. Well, I think with these closing minutes, I think Oscar's trying everything he can do to try and get that move on the Ferdinand. But you're right, Andrew. I think maybe showing his cards a little bit early. There's been the regular places where these two guys have been exchanging position, usually towards the tail end of the lap. So to show his hand, maybe at the hairpin, one lap early. Could give that game away. They're side by side. One side by side again. Braking heavily into the chicane. This time Oscar keeps hold of the lead. Yes, he does. Ferdinand hope for the good run out of the corner. Looks slightly quicker. He's certainly going to have that slipstream at the end of the start-finish straight.
Hardwick with a better exit this time. Hardwick with a better exit this time at the chicane than last time, and yet that slipstream is going to make such a big difference again. And the first time that we saw those overtakes around the outside, we were really impressed, and yet both drivers have done that same move to each other maybe 5 or 6 times now.
Oh, by the way, we got two things. Number one, drink it up. We got another donation. Ricardo, thank you for the donation. We'll drink it up one for you. And the second one, I'm going to be very honest. I'm really surprised in how the slipstream effect is taken in these cars. How much slipstream effect is played out on these cars. I thought it would be less than I expected, like less drag, but I'm really impressed. Like how much you can gain speed by just staying behind the back bumper or the back space of someone else.
Hey, there's not much of a bumper here, but you're absolutely right. The slipstream is the most important factor here that keeps these cars, and especially Oscar and Ferdinand, just so close to each other. And I think we're on the last lap right now, so we really need to look out for track position right now.
And I think it's important as well to mention that while we've been watching Hardwick and Lechner really go at it, and we've seen Kastorp putting pressure on in third, there are other drivers down the field that we haven't been putting so much focus on, because this is like maybe their first or second time using this game. And so a big shout out to them, to those people like Malachi Backus and Rami Matila, for example, Daniel Trapp, who have hung in there right to the end. Really well done, boys. Thank you very much. As now we see Lechner and Hardwick trying again. This is the lap that counts. Hardwick holds off Lechner as they go towards Spoon Curve. Oscar Hardwick still holding on. I think maybe Lechner's waiting for a bit further along the lap.
I think Lechner's got it, because he's gonna get him on the final straight now.
Indeed, I was going to say that. I think he hung back, almost hoping for that slipstream effectively go down the start of the back straight. He's going to have one tremendous slipstream effect as they catapult himself around Oscar Hardwick. But Oscar Hardwick was using that superior braking into the S-bend and will be looking for that final overtake. I'll hand over to you, Andrew, for the closing stages.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to that slipstream on the final straight, I think. They make contact, and Hardwick nearly spins out. He manages to keep control. He's in the lead, but he's not going to have any speed coming out as they go down towards the start-finish straight. I think Lechner's going to take this one, even though Hardwick is currently in the lead because of the slipstream. It just depends how far down the start-finish line is. Side by side, Lechner just starting to ease ahead. They come to the line.
Oh,
look at that! A tenth of a second.
Wow.
Ferdinand takes the win. That is 3 wins out of 3 races. He is your champion of champions. But my word, how he had to work hard for that. Yuri Kastorp, he comes in third. Go ahead.
Quickly go back to Ryan Seltzer, Charles Fletcher. They were looking like they were close across the line. Sorry to cut you off. Sorry,
that's
Andrew,
fine.
Right, they looked a lot closer than it actually turned out to be with the slipstream effect. Yeah, sorry, back to you, Andrew.
Well, you couldn't have scripted a closer race, could you? That was absolutely phenomenal. And at the end, a tenth of a second exactly separating Lechner and Hardwick. I'll have to take a look at what the updated standings are for you once they have been updated. But we do know that Lechner is your champion of champions. He goes away with the bragging rights, and rightly so. It was not easy in this race, or the first race. I mean, the second race he ran away with it, but he had to work more than enough for it in the other 2 races. Guys, what did you think of this event?
Man, can I go first? Can I go first? I'm excited, man. Jeez, man. Too bad my game crashed. But I've been looking through the stream. This is outstanding. I'm gonna be very honest. From what I was looking, this is probably one of the best races, if not the closest and best race I ever seen in my whole life. And I don't mean this because I drink too much, but it's outstanding driving. Like sim racing at its best. I don't know if you guys agree with this, but this is my statement. It's probably one of the best and closest races I ever seen in my whole life. And I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd have to 100% agree with Lorenzo there, despite the drink that Lorenzo's had this evening. And yeah, he's doing very well on that. He makes a very good point. The driving, the side-by-side racing, these guys are champions. But I really can't. I've commentated on a fair few Formula 3 events that I regularly do for Automobilista, and there's some very close racing in that. But this was something like nothing else. So close, so respectful, and so exciting, the racing, and to have just a tenth or so separating the leaders in this last event really demonstrates how good, how high the caliber of drivers we've got here tonight really is.
It has
And,
been fantastic.
Yeah, we
actually have
got
some
people
interviews,
coming
I
in, I
think.
guess.
Yeah, let's start with Oscar Hardwick. Well, what can I say? Oh my God, what a race!
So disappointed.
That
You-
was
you-
incredible. I mean,
your-
those
your race
overtakes you
was
were making
stolen.
on the outside of were just incredible.
I felt that I had the car on him. The same as in the Lancer. I felt that I had the car because the speed I could carry in certain places would put me in front, and just the run that he got. And I had a look, and I think it's just one of those racing deals. We sort of both moved into each other in that last braking zone, and just I picked the wrong side. I picked the inside, and I should have gone high. And yeah.
But even then, you were only a tenth of a second off each other at the end. And I have to
Hundredths.
ask you, were you? It was it was 100. Sorry, were you playing strategy games during that race? Because there were times we were watching you, we were thinking, you had the run on him, but then you'd sort of just tuck in again behind him and just wait for a bit longer for another corner in the track. Were you playing games?
I wasn't thinking it through or anything, but it's just a bit of standard racing craft there. Like sometimes you'll be sitting in the draft of someone else and see that you're gonna get maybe your front wheels alongside their back wheels going into a corner, and like particularly up to 130R, there's just no point. You're not going to get that move done, and if you're racing someone that's very competitive and aggressive, like Ferdinand is, and that's aggressive in a good way, not knocking it. I think he's awesome to race against. Then there's no point just putting two wheels alongside because they'll take the apex, and they've every right to put their car on the apex. So if it wasn't going to be my whole car there, I was never going to keep pushing through the draft, basically.
We saw you make a move near the end, about 3 minutes from the end. You made a move in the hairpin, which you hadn't done up until that point. Did you really think you were going to get through then, or were you just trying to throw him off?
I don't know. I mean, I'd had a couple of looks, and it seemed like fairly viable. I mean, unlike with Spielberg earlier on, you could overtake in almost any corner, given the right circumstances around there in those cars. So it was never like on or not on or particularly impressed. Like, I know it looks really cool when someone goes around the outside of 130R, but the cars are so small and there's so much time to think about what's going on. You really can make the moves there and make them quite easily. So with the hairpin, I think I just went in on the brakes, had a good run, and got it all sorted.
Well, we were definitely impressed. That was fantastic. Your performance in all the races. I mean, the second race didn't go as well for you.
Can't drive him.
But
Not at all.
well, who can? Except apparently
Yeah,
for Ferdinand.
He can drive him,
Yes.
but the rest of us were struggling.
It was very entertaining, and that was an absolutely stunning race. One of the best we have ever seen. So really well done.
My maths isn't great, but I think I ended up second in the points. I think.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And to be fair, against Ferdinand, who is you cannot take away from the caliber of driver that Ferdinand is. He's so quick, and like I said earlier, the fact that he comes from being the guy that dominates the time trials and he races like that is so impressive because you don't see it very often. And yeah, fantastic. I'm very happy with second and to finish second to him, and happy with the racing all round this evening. It was really fantastic.
Thank you for taking part. We'll let you go, and we'll move on to some other drivers that we can interview. I see that Yuri Kazdorp is also here. Tell us about your race. I think it was third place finish.
Yeah, well, there wasn't much of a race. I started behind Ferdinand and Oscar and I ended there. They were gaining like half a second a lap, and then it was just getting to the end. Couldn't even see them fight. I was a bit too far off.
Were you hoping that they'd sort of take each other out?
Yeah, I was screaming to Oscar, just go for the banzai moves. You're running out of time. But he didn't fall for it.
So what did you think about the event overall, all three races together? I mean, it was certainly fun from a spectator view. How about you? Did you enjoy it from the cockpit?
Yeah, it was great. Especially the first two races. The last race, as I said, was a bit lonely, but the first two races, it was really close. And I was impressed by how close and competitive everything is and how consistent everyone is after like this little practice. Because we didn't practice much, and if you look at the races, you wouldn't say that we only know the track and car combination for like an hour and only practiced around 15 minutes on each combination. Like it was proper good racing.
I think some of the drivers had a slight advantage with the fact that they were comfortable with Automobilista. Do you think that played a part in your races?
Well, I've driven the game quite a lot, but not lately at all, and I don't like the last car, and especially the Formula truck I don't like either. So
not enough oversteer for you.
I don't know, Formula truck I just flipped the car on the ramps. I'm just too bad with them.
Well, thank you very much for taking part. We'll let you go, and now we'll talk to the other driver who's with us, Ryan Seltzer. How did your final race go?
The last race was a blast. It went pretty well. I moved up a couple spots, and I had some great racing with Charles, just back and forth throughout most of the race.
Yeah, we were trying to keep an eye on it. With everything that was going on up the front, it was really hard. So tell us more about the battle. Did you change positions very regularly?
We changed quite a few times. To be honest, I can't even recall how many it was, but it was back and forth, and for over half the race, we were pretty much glued to each other's bumper. And then eventually he made a mistake, and at that point I pulled away. I think I had almost 2 seconds, but somehow he started gaining pace and started catching up again towards the end.
So we know that you won the Touring Car Championship Season 10 this year. So congratulations for that. But obviously coming into this is a bit more relaxed. But how did you approach it? Did you have the same approach as you did in the Touring Car Championship, or did you just come into this thinking, I'll have a blast?
A little bit different. I wanted to prepare for this one, as I tend to prepare a lot if I get the chance. But of course, with this type of race, it was very hard to. So since there's many tracks that I'm not really familiar with, I tried to run some extra laps on some of those just to get used to things a little bit more. Did a little extra practice in the V and the truck a little bit. Of course, still going in, it was kind of a surprise once we got the actual tracks, limited time to really practice.
All right, well, one final question before I hand back to Lorenzo. I have to ask you, which of the three was your favorite race tonight?
Definitely the last one, and that was just because of the racing with Charles. It's some of the best and closest racing I've had in a while. At any point, it could have been either one of us, and we were just racing for fourth, but it was great. Definitely enjoyable.
Thanks very much for joining us, and I will hand over now to Lorenzo.
Hey there, hey guys, what's up? Hey, oh. Hey, here I am. Sorry, a little bit excited, but what you thinks before we close out? Number one, if Ryan had said he would like the super trucks, I probably would have drunk another chug of beer. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
You can have more now.
I'm gonna drink after we finish up our broadcast. Number two, I want to ask you guys, what do you think? What do you guys thought? Sorry, about this event as a whole. I want you guys' input on your thoughts, your feelings. What do you guys feel about it?
Why don't I go first, just to give somebody else some time to speak, because I've been speaking for a long time. I just want to say I think it was really, really well organized, and that the races were brilliant. There were some things I would personally like to change, like for next year. You saw how close the driving was at the front, and I think if the drivers had a little bit more time to prepare on the tracks or with the game that they're not familiar with, it might have been a bit closer to some of the rest of the for the rest of the field. But that's like a small thing. I mean, the racing we had tonight, race 1 and race 3 especially, absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best racing I've ever seen. So I have to say big congratulations to Tobias, who organized it, and to all the participants.
Yeah, to mirror very much what Drew said, it was a fantastic event, a pleasure to commentate. Only my second, I guess, almost call it professional, but what with the drinking, maybe it wasn't quite so professional as the league events usually are here on Race Department. But it was a pleasure to commentate. The racing was second to none. Every event was a joy to commentate on. The only improvement, but I think it's something we've been discussed before, is to switch around which simulator we use next year. I think there was an advantage for those that usually use Automobilista, and so I'm sure next year, hopefully we'll run this again, and it will probably be on a different simulator. Tobias, do you have any comments?
Oh yeah. Sorry. I'm new to this new thing. Yeah. Thank you a lot, guys. Thanks for the kind words, guys. It was a great event tonight, and holy crap! I mean, those last laps in the Formula V, I could not have asked for anything better for this event. So I'm really glad it went down so well, and thanks. Thanks for all the viewers who tuned in tonight to see this incredible race. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Beer.
Still.
Indeed, and the
I've
followers
had too
and the
many beers to
donators as
count.
well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be very honest. I don't mean because I drink this and anything else. Davey, just please cope with me. Number one, I really appreciate doing this kind of event, this fun kind of event where racing, is we only we race serious, sorry, but we race for fun, and that's what matters most. As long as you have fun, everything matters. Um, that's the key point of everything, and that's why we do our club races and leagues. I'm looking at Twitch chat. I should not look at it, but I want to say thanks for all drivers that ran in our race of champions, took part of it. Our staff that organized this. For those who are thinking, will we have next year? Most definitely. Don't worry. Probably in other simulators. Most definitely. We're gonna look into it. I want to say thanks for Tobias, Jim, Davey, Andrew for doing this with me this last event of the year. And you have the pleasure to follow me with this one. Those who watched us on Twitch, followed us on Twitch, donated us on Twitch for the sake of fun and the shenanigans. Thank you a lot. And I wish every single one of you a good year. Like I said, 2016 was a tough year, overall. But here at Race Department, we had a lot of fun doing our events this year, this 2016, and I wish you all a very, very good end of year, year's passing as well. I wish you all the best, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And stay tuned next week for the mini challenge at Brains Hatch Indy. Did I say correctly, James? Jim?
Yes,
Jim,
indeed. That's,
Davey?
that's
I got it right.
Lorenzo. Yep.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everyone.
And stay tuned for more leagues we have in 2017. Stay tuned for it. Race Department Le Mans Series, the signups are open. If you want to sign up your team for Race Department Le Mans Series in our Factor 2, it is open. And in behalf of the organization, my name is Lorenzo Bonder. I'm with Tobias Reuner, Jim Nobbs, Andrew James, Davey Van de Ven. It has been the utmost pleasure to bring this special event to you all. And for now, I wish you a great 2017, and peace out, boys.
Prost, ihr Säger.